So my metric for going live on this channel, 3 coincidences happening simultaneously is the bar. It has to be like 3 that I consider, not just like 3 dates, but like for instance, right? Let me just. So my copyright strikes that are keeping my channels from existing, right, are 2 of them are specifically from one YouTube channel because we watched both the Jeffrey Dahmer unboxing. That sounds weird because it is, but also it was like it was part. Um, and the Verne one as well. Don't even remember because he had 2 different videos when we were looking at those, which one it was that we watched. But I can almost certainly, because we re-looked him up yesterday in one of the other tabs. Let's just do this in order because everything else I'm going to ramble about. So the video I put in the description yesterday on this channel. I don't remember what the coincidences were. I remember there were too many. They were numerous. January 3rd, 2026, the day Trump bombed Venezuela, and I had it as his one son's birthday and not his other son instead of smack in the middle. I'm remembering now that when I was yelling at Chelsea because of like his birthday, I was like, what do you think's happening here? What do you think is? And somehow I had 2 dates confused. Anyway, movies are no longer available. The uploader has not made it available in my country. So it is available and other people can watch it, but it goes from like a picture of the. Anyway, Rachel McAdams in this movie, particularly guilt by association, what we know from judges getting payoffs, both ego-y and financially, to get people put in prison. Feel like they're doing good for the world. Anyway, so this one is no longer available, but just wanted to showcase that. That's not why. The one screenshot, which we will get to when we get to it. I think this will maybe be it. This is what we looked at and was up from yesterday when I showed it and was like, oh, April 21st, the day the Pope died, which is probably why we were, well, like, I was like, oh, and January 1st being his birthday, which, too, I was looking through the Teen Mom seasons. Sorry, 16 and Pregnant became Teen Mom, the first 2 seasons. And there's 2 January 1st birthdays. Don't remember who they are. I feel like one of them might be one of the children born on that day, and one was like one of the siblings born kind of later. But that's not. I'm scrolling down. I hope it's here. I hope this was the one. If not, well, I'll have to keep going. Yeah, no. So I saw my birthday, January 14th. It was like the tragic story of Verne Troyer at Hollywood's Mini-Me. And then the other 2 dates. So in one of these tabs, it also has Jeffrey Dahmer was baptized the same day John Wayne Gacy was, no, assassinated is not the word for that, murdered by the state for committing crimes. And that there's a, so I don't know whether he chose that day. Like, I don't think he was obsessed with John Wayne Gacy while he was in prison. You know what I mean? It was like, I'm gonna get baptized on the day that. No, I think they're coincidences. But there was also a lunar eclipse, and according to AI generated. You know what I mean? The overview from Google. So this is both my grandmother's birthday, December 4th, and the day I was baptized in 1988. January 14th is my birthday. And November 9th is Adrielle's channel, is the birthday of Eric, who plays McSteamy, and died on February 19th of this year. And then I found out after all that, after the Charles Camsell, anyway, the November 9th is when I was born. No, I was born January 14th. The time when converted to a date, I was born at 11:09, which had already emerged as a date before I found out I was born at that date. But basically, my birth time, my birthday, and the day I was baptized, well, just Googling Verne, and then we can get rid of that. We're not going to be watching any of them. It's just, we got other things to do. A Lander pilot, maybe. Yeah, we're gonna get to that because it's so hard. I was going live for 4 hours a day, right, to like process, and the copyright strike was from months ago. But because I didn't complete a copyright thingy, that I was like, yeah, I can't find it. I kept trying a few times. My brain didn't complete the task. It never found the videos, which I think it's videos because I did it before on a different channel. And so instead of them expiring, my whole channel expired. It didn't say that. It was like they'll delete if. So now, because Jordan Lyons put in a copyright strike, understandably, and me and my brain tumors and everything else on Jeffrey Dahmer and Verne, right? Like that was the point. No, we're not doing that. We're doing the order that they come up in my tabs. So yeah, the overview for Outlander. Outlander, the newest one that just came out, is 8/8. And then when I was like, I'm gonna go watch the pilot because every time Outlander comes out, I think of Liam, who recently discovered he was an extra in Outlander, or not an extra, but like a named cast member, but like can't even distinguish him. This man that I went on one date and spent a night with so it's just watching unexpected. We're gonna watch my TikToks. My TikToks I've made and the few reposts were relevant to the anyway, the pilot aired on he was not. He was long story, never finished. August 9th, my Aunt Carol, who is no longer here, both of my Aunt Carols are no longer here, but one I met, and one died before I was born, and one I never, and died of brain cancer before I was ever born, and developed brain tumors myself, but not cancerous. Anyway, and then my other Aunt Carol, who was in the family long before me, lost a son and grandson in her lifetime and passed away. And anyway, August 8th, the day Allie got her accounts back, I lost mine the day before her anniversary of hers, all the fun things. This is whatever Outland, the whole point, right? That he's not in the TV show Outlander that's about time travel. He's about the other one that's Outlander that's about time travel, where he comes from space and lands on a Viking planet and he has to kind of hide he's from space. I don't remember the plot, actually. I remember watching it to see if Liam was in it and not. But that the fact that I had a picture with me, 9/11, a headshot of a guy that I dated and went on a date, singular date. Yes, it lasted almost 24 hours, but nonetheless, a singular date with, and then exchanged emails while I was in Australia, was in a Jim Caviezel movie. There's an Eric in that one almost certainly too, since it's Vikings. And so I'm like, I keep getting reminded, and I keep trying to watch Outlander. It doesn't happen. So I was like, oh, 8/8 on 8/8 when 8/8 just came out, feels right. It's now 3 also. 3/3. This is just one little, you know what I mean? Again, just a tab. Just a tab. Jim Caviezel. Rachel McAdams. We are gonna watch this one. Hot Chick. I don't remember what date it came out. Anyway, it being a Rachel McAdams movie, and that the entire plot is like it came out before. That's important. It came out before Mean Girls, and I think she's also a mean girl in it. That's kind of the point. Is she's like attractive, right? I'm gonna play this scene where she gets all the free. He steals from his business, right, to give to the like 4 free drinks. It's like $20 of. Yeah, it's on me. It's not on him. He's not paying for it, right? He gets to watch in real time a woman he finds attractive lick whipped cream off of a drink. She gets a free drink for her and all her friends, right? For putting on that performance for him. This is not a free transaction we're the audience, and we're Hot Chick, Rob Schneider. Like, because I believe it actually does have him do this again later, right? But like, imagine Rob Schneider doing it, right? That's not with Tyler Catastrophe. I feel like he sees himself as Regina George, as he should. And the world is like, you're Rob Schneider. And he's like, I get it. I get you guys see Rob Schneider. I see Rachel McAdams. And the world can't actually distinguish the difference because when they look in the mirror and they see themselves, they see hideous and wrong or just not quite right. And they can't deal with confidence, actual confidence. That's what hot chicks is, right? Like Rob Schneider they wake up in each other's bodies, which is, sorry, Lindsay Lohan, not Hilary Duff. Hilary Duff also just came up because Lindsay McGuire, Revenge of the Nerds. Um, three big movies. The three big ones: True Lies, that before the Signs and True Lies with the Ryans, and finding out about Jared being added to it. Even though, anyway, all that fun stuff. Mean Girls, my sister being neighbors with the actual real human being Rachel McAdams, and the Mean Girls stuff going down. Her being in the Notebook as Allie, meeting on June 6th. What, Julie? Oh, Mean Girls. Mean Girls, they all have a pair. True Lies is Angels in the Outfield, came out the exact same day. Mean Girls is Bobby Jones. Oh, wait. Stroke of Genius. It's March 17th. It's his birthday. And Jim Caviezel played him. I've not watched that movie. It's the one about golf. And I don't have it available, or I would watch it. The True Lies is Angels in the Outfield, which I watched after getting out of the psych ward because it was on YouTube in like a 17-part series. Jordan Levitt, the whole premise, but just the Mean Girl. Don't we already did Mean Girls? The other one, Matrix. The same day Matrix came out, which is the third movie. So did 10 Things I Hate About You, and that's the same day I found out about YCI I volunteered in Costa Rica with, therefore where I met the three men whose birth dates relevant, because there were three men on there was 15 of us, 12 of us, somewhere in there. Two leaders out of that, both women. One a lesbian, wasn't able to come up to us until much, much later because of the time. Like Melissa McCarthy was just on SVU as a lesbian, and she said, "What? You know what? Playing Rachel McAdams, so we can get to Melissa McCarthy." So Rachel McAdams from, I'm just going to stay on screen.
That's really good. How much do I owe you?
It's okay. It's on the house.
Really? Thanks.
That's in the trailer. Right, Rob Schneider doing that. How much do I owe you? And I believe again that does happen. Like it's like 20. No, but like me. No, like 20. Yeah, right. This is a performance, right? Like, yes, it's a performance in a movie, but like this interaction between this teenage girl and this teenage boy behind right? Their transaction isn't about the drink. She's getting a free drink. He's getting a woman licking, whipped cream off. And yet she's supposed to be anyway. The problem, well, he's the one stealing. She's just like, hey, I'm gonna if doing half a second of work of licking whipped cream off of a drink gets you and all your friends a free drink, you'd be irresponsible not to, really, right? That'd just be bad financial planning. Okay, so we can get rid of this. Yeah, let's Tubi. Fun. All right. We're going with share screen. I'll pull in and see something else was the next day, but no, we're not doing. Did we finish what the pairs were? Neverending Story is the fourth movie, and for some reason I can't what's the pair? There is no pair. So I looked it up, and there's like so many because one, it came out. It has two different dates. April 6th is already a date, so let's do with November 9th, Adria, all that, and July 20th, the Costa Rican date. Malcolm Chabal Warner, other thing, and then also the date Neverending Story came out in U.S. April 6th, Germany, US, July 20th. And both of those dates have multiple movies come out of them. Revenge of the Nerds is one of those movies. And then one of the main stars. I watched the first 5 minutes. And where'd I go? How they talk about the nerds that like, right, they're women just like turn up their noses at them. He's the nerd that's not the son. The son's laying in bed fully clothed, and his mom comes in and dotes on him. And then his friend comes in and dotes on both his mother. And the way he's touching his mom, the way he talks, both like his put together nerd outfit, but how he actually holds himself, he's actually a really bad actor playing somebody as a nerd, like an actual nerd. He looks like, like when like a jock puts on a dress and isn't playing a woman, but like that, like as a nerd though, not as a woman. And yeah, I mean, the whole thing, I'm watching it because it is like rape culture and how like we're like, yeah, like how when you watch the lions one week and then the gazelle the next week on a nature documentary, you're cheering for the lions, and then the food, you know what I mean, the next week. If women aren't food, but our entire society is designed around male predation. And the orcas, we have to get to the orcas because orcas, and I'm gonna have to find that one and pin it in, put it in the description. Hopefully it doesn't mean it goes away like with the movie. All right, what else are we doing here? Instagram. Oh my god, one of these we do have to push. And okay, I have multiple Instagrams open. Let me go find which one. And this is trigger warning. I don't give trigger warnings. If you're here, we're saving humanity. Violence of a teenage. He's 14. I'm gonna call him a boy, even though he's also looks like he might be black. The amount of entitlement in this interaction between him and this girl who are in the crosswalk, right? He's like, stand here, and his friends or people, other teenagers around the same age, are egging him on, and like the whole interaction caught on video, and the way the adults are like, these kids aren't adulting right. Yeah, no kidding, because the adults aren't adulting right. That he picks her up and body slams her into the ground and then curb stomps her head, right? There's like, I don't remember, there were an 8-year-old, some young guy, 8 or younger, who went into the nursery and picked up a baby and dropped it on his head. There was an SVU episode, but I think there was also like a real life, understandably doesn't understand death, doesn't understand the full implications, should not be tried as an adult. Suicide, violence, drugs, pregnancy, all of it around youth. And we're going to see his mother. I made one of my TikToks is in reference to this. And this is so, it's not, I wouldn't show it if it was, you know what I mean? I haven't seen Charlie Kirk. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like this is, you can see him stomp her head though. Like you can see him slam his foot into her head on the concrete and him slam her into the ground. We need little boys and girls, but little boys to learn how to keep their hands to themselves when they're 3, 4, and 5. And we need corrections for the teens and adults as well. It cannot be left up to their mothers. Clearly, we're going to hear what his mother has to say. And can't be left up to their fathers who are there or not there. And like he doesn't know what to do with the testosterone and entitlement coursing through his body, and he makes it this woman's problem, probably lifelong problem. It will have lifelong implications, even if they're just minor, from having a concussion. Because he felt entitled to ask her on it. It doesn't matter. Literally, she calls him a pussy, and he reacts this way, right? You know what's pussy? This is pussy. Like, this is pussy, mwah, right? Like, not an actual cat or vagina, but like bad male behavior. The grossest you wouldn't want your buddies, your mother, your descendants, your ascendants to see. This could be the picture in the dictionary, right? Like, this is nobody's pride and joy. Except he is his mother's. That's why his mother has to delete this from her memory, right? And be like, no, he was being bullied, right? All of it wrapped into one. Rape culture, patriarchy. That's why we're watching this.
Right? After that, I smack the shit out of you right now, right?
Do it.
No, you stand right here.
You
No, you stand right here. You stand right here.
Oh, no, she got your pussy.
Let's go to. Oh, what? You got pussy?
Like, people with the camera need to go to jail. We're going to see the violence. Teenagers recording again all over the world. Actual camera crew. We're gonna watch because this came up after I'd made the TikTok on the dad that again I thought was 16 and pregnant from a decade ago. I was like, we were okay with this. No, it was literally season 5. We're now on season 7 or 8 of Unexpected. And he thinks he's doing what is best for his son, right? He's mad. I might be a daughter, but I'm pretty sure it's son, especially considering, but because she got an epidural. He thinks it harmed her son. He thinks he knows better than the doctors, right? Who gave her the epidural for the benefit of her and his son. And there are bad implications that come from epidurals. Don't think she had them. He's refusing to let her hold her baby and then gives him milk. Right? Because like, I gotta feed him. No, you don't. Gives him cow milk, which even unpasteurized, even raw, when we drank it straight from the cow, not for people. When does my formula was made, and wet nurses, and to keep human tiny children alive, and like that man, he's a boy. He's a fucking boy. I have to watch season 5 because his name's Jay. It starts with J of some kind. This one also, a boy. And the anger, the 17-year-old gorilla, David Attenborough, where they're just like, sometimes their parents kick them out. Like, their whole family and friends get annoyed with them and kick them out, right? Except their mummies find them precious and sweet. Orcas. I was horrified when that grandma orca killed the baby. Enough so that I went, but delete them all. The orcas taken on the billionaires, you know what I mean? Orcas are a complex animal, and they are deeply in the science and symbols. Just watched, and it's what's going to be in the description eventually, a serial, they're not serial killers, Julie, they're not serial killers, a species of orca, because there's many in the ocean, that is silent, is in tiny pods, and eats the other ones. And how the other ones basically have their entire society designed around is the hypothesis. Like, oh, we didn't know why they were all so different. Some eat marine mammals, some eat fish, some talk, some not. These ones are silent murderers, and like the other ones have counteracted it. They're not cannibals because not the same species, but yeah, and they are the same species. They don't interbreed due to society. They do not. Due to their culture on top, due to their language, Tower of Babel. This tiny group, 3, 4, and the other ones taking them on as well, and the males sticking around with their moms and grandmas for forever, basically, to protect them from the Jeffrey Dahmer of the orca world, right? That they have, yeah, samesies, except it's the different culture. The sociopathic culture was the winner amongst the might equals right testosterone. Curb stomp them. They won't marry you and produce 12 babies, just curb stomp them.
Yo, nice.
Yo, nice. Clavicular, after he hit the person with his vehicle and they were like, you look like you killed someone, he was like, good. Human nature. This idea that teenage girls don't come forward after one of them kills themselves and go, what we need to do is have a healing circle and all decide what we did wrong. Like, the adults have ever fucking done that. Like, Mean Girl burn books, isn't? I can't. Even the, like, she's not supposed to be the star. Like, movie posters does not have Regina George starring. She becomes a star through it. A star in the most horrific fucking way. All right. I'm not going to put that in the description, quite frankly. We're going to get rid of that one, and we are going to... Melissa McCarthy. Okay. So, because it does show a picture of... It was not a Saturday Night Live skit. It is an SVU episode. Look at her as like hitting. Is it? I think it's Olivia she's hitting on in the most inappropriate, like. Yeah, no, straight white woman playing gross, disgusting man, basically, right? Did we anyway? The Jeffrey therapy sexual hand job in threads and the internet again. Do I think Kendra versus therapy Jeff versus you all needing people to be professional in a world of AI breaking down reality, and there is no such thing as professionalism. Is that Jason Bateman? Why does he keep showing up? Is it anyway, what else was he just in? Was it something with him and Rachel McAdams? I think it was. What is he in with? Rosaldo, is that him? I'm like 99% certain. Yeah, okay. January 14th. Rachel McAdams. So there's Max and Annie in competitive married couple in 2018 game night. Okay. Like I saw their faces. So I feel I wouldn't have picked that out of a multiple choice for the film name that it was, but as I was like, is that? Yes, it is. I've yet to make the 10-minute TikTok on Rachel McAdams, so it will not be on. We still have the comment. It's still pinned. It's still there. We will eventually get to it. Finding new movies every time. Cave Night, Jason Bateman. All right, can we X out of this? But I think we can. We have not got, we're not Xing out. Oh, okay. I'm going to go to my TikToks and we're going to start playing those while I look at what else is on my tabs. But the three were all the Verne.
How long would it take?
With Jeffrey number. Just so we're clear. Well, I don't need to be clear, but I do need to be clear with future me. Much normal salaried people could buy houses 30 years ago. Yep. Inflation and people not understanding basic reality. What we can change, what we can't change as people. Why I always click on the thing and then have to do an extra step. Silly. What are my reposts? Oh, fun. This is the one I showed yesterday. We've not showed. Let's actually quickly, because I'm getting used to not having the repost, right? I don't know when shouldn't be legal, which aren't here anymore. Because again, I'd post a bunch and then lost the YouTube channels. Tyler Catastrophe. Neon getting I can't with it.
Do you mind if we have
spoilers in it, which is both he's in, I believe, in Edmonton. I don't know who Neon is, but he keeps posting. Anyway, I don't know if he's rage bait. I honestly don't. Is he actually a big celebrity who draws a crowd, or is he more of an influencer pretends he draws a crowd? Neon got heartbroken after he got kicked out of an Edmonton Oilers Ducks game.
chat? Sure. Okay, so right now
he got kicked out for live streaming during an Oilers game where you're not even allowed to take pictures, supposedly. Anyway.
Seen the guy moving
halfway around the world. Just YouTuber. Just the one, not 3 days ago. Everyone needing, same with like the Kendra and psychiatrist, and everyone being like, he's not that into you. And it's like, do you not understand that's not the fucking point? Even if and she was owning it of like, yeah, no, I that's why I did this. I thought maybe he was into me. I thought maybe he would come and like, she's dealt with that. Well, they're like, but you outed a man of color. Yeah, no, should have done that. But it's anyway, all of it. The misunderstanding, the like romantic trope we're constantly all trying to live out, but not you. You're Rob Schneider. Only Rachel McAdams gets. Love is the
fire crews are now.
We had just covered this one, right? Where basically I was like, yeah, he should, everyone in the comments, is he going to be charged? Is he going to be there like, a big stack of ice with teenagers wanting to get to the date inside. All of a sudden they were with pickaxes and with fire and not being smart with their brain. Yeah, no effing kidding. So then the fire crew are hitting it with ice or water so that it melts faster, right?
I purposely make
this one actually, because putting a snowman around a fire hydrant, because they're like people who run down snowmen are like they're shopping carts, which we've heard my opinion on many a time. I'm gonna play this one because he's like, right, it's not illegal to hit a snowman. If there's a snowman in the middle of a park and the kids are never coming back, Destroying something is right, like, it's part of play. To not do it maliciously is actually anyway, like, rage rooms, all of that, to have your truck and think you're running over snow and then hit a fire hydrant and possibly kill someone, yourself or your passenger, because you know what I mean? Because they're like, "Well, yeah, but we're teaching you a lesson because you were trying to harm children." Nope. Nope, a snowman is not a child. It is a child's creation, possibly, that they might not care about and would have melted like the Drake PR stunt, right? Anyway, we're not watching all of these. We're just going through them, but we are watching the ones that are important, and this one's important.
Snowmen around tree trunks so that guys who think it's funny to run over kids' snowmen totally total their cars. So
What do you guys think about this? First instinct, I was like, genuinely speaking, both of these things are legal. So if your argument is, oh, it's not illegal to make a snowman around a fire hydrant or a tree trunk, it's also not illegal to ruin somebody's snowman, but I guess it's illegal to drive your car off the road. So you got me there. But I want to focus specifically on what happens to a snowman after a little kid makes one. It fucking melts. And it's not, if it's not done on their yard, because I'm assuming these cars aren't driving up on past the sidewalk on somebody's lawn, right? Then it's on public property. Anybody can do anything to it any time. And if, in fact, if I go to like a park and there's a snowman and it's just left alone, like I know there's no kids around, I'll like kick the head off or I'll stab it or something like that. Is this escalation? Because if in theory,
I love because we can keep referring to the channels that no longer exist, but the stabbing of the cake with the blood, right, from before, where it was like, it is, and they were like, I work in mental health. This is unhealthy. And it's like, okay, so your son asks you for that. Like, what is and isn't unhealthy? What is, so then what do you do? What do you do with the son who wants? You give that as a yes? Kicking the head off a snowman, right? That urge, doing it, not thinking about the kids that might show up the next day heartbroken. Also, you know what I mean? Like, right, it's a snowman. Drake made a pile of snow, and the adults with millions of dollars couldn't figure out that teenage and adult men and women were going to go with pickaxes and fire to get to the date because they couldn't contain themselves for a date. Or like, children, go to school for 8 hours and put your tablets away. We live in a weird world. Come save it.
if they're not using their car, which I guess technically would be illegal, if I go up to a fire hydrant and I go to kick it or something like that and I break my fucking foot, the person that did that snowman, like to bait them, like that's definitely worse, right? I feel like that's definitely worse if somebody totals their car because you tricked them into doing something. Like imagine coming home from the office and you just had a shitty day and you're like, fuck that snow.
Some teenagers threw rocks. I don't know off of an overpass or what, but they killed someone and watched the true crime of the boys processing it. You know, them. You know, right? They didn't go out to murder someone. They did go out to cause havoc, and then someone was murdered, and then you know what I mean. They acted like I want to see the body. I want to take a picture. You know what I mean. But didn't purposely try to kill her, but were charged with murder, understandably. The Chicago Med episode that I don't remember which, it was one of the ones that was from previous, I think possibly the one with Jesus in it, Jonathan Rumi. We'll eventually learn his name. I think it'd be Jim Cazzizel, you know what I mean? Because Jim, they're both Jesus, those two. I know many people play Jesus. Those are the two Jesus because they're the Passion and Chosen. I know they're not actually, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. But when I say Jesus is the junkie ex of the doctor, right? That's what I'm talking about. The actor and how the two doctors with their dicks out are having a fight over whether they should bring a woman who just got landed on by a teenager killing himself because they're like, wait, did he jump or not? Like, did he try to kill himself or was he pushed off by teenage antics at the top? The one doctor wakes the other one up because he kissed his girlfriend. Wakes up, his patient. Like, this is all kinds of, someone should be getting fired. Someone should be in jail. What was my point? Versus the teenagers. Anyway, just like he threw himself off trying to kill himself. And then his parents are like, no, it was not our son. No, we're not putting him in psychiatry. We're not you can't commit. The amount of our lack of criminal justice system. To put snowmen around, right? And the other guy's like, this is brilliant. We're saving children. No, you're costing people cars, right? But people in addiction who need to get to a potential $10 in your car who break a window, put them all in jail, right? But people pretending to save children, it's like allyship in a nutshell, right? Beautiful.
No, man. I'm about to run it over, blow off some steam, I'll go home. That snow was gonna fucking melt anyway. And then you just totally almost kill yourself because somebody was like, that'll show them not to mess with snowmen. How is this? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is a step up. You could literally kill somebody because they're kind of a dick. They deserve to die, maybe.
I purposely make snowmen around.
All right. So we're just again going through. Shouldn't be illegal. We're just trying to figure out what these are.
Oh, me, I report every exotic pet.
Oh, this one, which is I'm just gonna we're not watching them recapping, right? That she's like she says, every exotic pet. Doesn't care if it's legal, doesn't look up your state, she reports it. You know who also does that? People who don't have TikTok accounts, right? People who just care deeply about the pet. They don't know, right? They're reporting. People report to CBS and the SBs. You have an exotic pet, and you right? The amount people use their pets for clickbait, for all of that, dogs, cats, horses, all of that, but also the exotic ones. And she reports it. You're getting reported, right? Now, like the social media literacy, I need you to know she's doing it full chest, brave, right? If you have animals online, you are both going to get all of the vocal outward critique where they're trying to help you and save you, and behind the scenes, right? No, we just want the pet saved. There's another one, I don't think I did repost it, about a reptile chameleon egg. The amount of people that are like, this is horrible. This is an unboxing for an egg. And it's like, this is so much better than a living to animal. An egg's a living animal, but like a already hatched. It will hatch in the next year. I hope I reposted. We're going to watch that one. But this person is basically just like, you post a rep, you're getting reported. We can have animal rescue that actually works for people, that isn't tourism gone amok. But you will be like, this was posted for social media, right? This idea we're having a conversation or we're policing each other online, but like, right, for every singular person who takes time to write out a letter to an actual company gets that person's getting some coupons because that person took the labor of everyone else who feels that way and didn't write in and now is no longer going to be a customer. The little businesses, right? The people who throw the tantrums on the Chloe's cookies, etc., right? Who don't understand the impact of online and understand the impact of no, you want the feedback, right? Like you want to improve. You don't want to throw a tantrum in your comments on because someone gave you feedback on your product, right? But it's also my understanding of Lipstick Lesbian, and they're like, they're not taking our. I was like, I think they're taking your feedback fine. None of it was like, except the parts that aren't about the product. The Tyler catastrophe of it, like we'll see my ones, right? Or I'm like, maybe I did. Who knows? Let's rewatch my Tyler. Did I say he didn't lie? I said I haven't heard a lie. Possible. Anyway, I'm like, I know, but you pin it. I'm like, what are they gonna do on TikTok? Tag me? I'm like, where in this? It's a 4-minute video that I made. I'm not going to rewatch it to find out if I lie. No, we're not. Sorry. I forgot where we were. All right, back to and it's on 4/1/2. April 1st. I don't think she's April 1st.
How long would it take a normal person such as you've described?
Can we go? How was that even? I don't understand where that one came from. Okay. So many. I just need to recap for my brain.
I lost my friend because of what I wore to her.
I think we possibly didn't I cover this one, maybe, and then the other one, and then they go take it out. I don't know.
He just snapped is the most protective lie we tell about male violence, and the CNN piece about a rape academy proves it.
Yeah, so Jeff? So what do we do? Don't leave it up to men to solve the rape problem. Everything about how everyone reacted to therapy, Jeff, of like, you did it the wrong way. We're gonna, and all of it, the Russell Brand, all of it. We're a fun species.
No, we're
people who don't realize their role models are playing characters after adopting traits and mannerisms. I need you all to know you're all doing this 100%. Yes, you're pretending to be a thing, right? Trans men, yeah, pretending to be men. So are men. So are cis men. That's what men is. That's what women is, right? Now, where isn't it? That would be a conversation, a plethora of women and men and all of their expression. And I'm not like that, but I am like this. Not though, right? We police like animals do not. Tyler Catastrophe being trans, which I thought he was like I did not realize he's a trans man. Don't know why. I thought he was a gay man that called himself trans. But him with his most recent video being like, I was born a woman. Like, I'm proud might be the wrong word, but you know what I mean? Not ashamed of that. And our collective shame and pride and like, you're not allowed to be proud of that. I'm ashamed. Like, is a fun collective humanness. The collective fat phobia, transphobia, ableism around somebody who is just confident and has art that they make and was in a traffic accident. And everyone's like, prove it. Like, it's just like, wow. You know, you don't need to buy his 666 necklace, right? No one's forcing you. It took him a lot of time to make it. The beadwork, all of that. Like, everything we make by hand is way underpriced with slavery, with the capitalism, with the billionaire dicks on Epstein's Island. But like, our doctors are pretending to be doctors. They went to medical school. They're the best we have. And like, I'm going to go with 90%. It might be off on the math of who they are when you walk into a room with a doctor is them playing a part. I'm playing the role of doctor today, and you need to play the role of patient, and you're not doing this right. Your lines are like, yep, that's what we're fixing.
Tyler Catastrophe's cadence and manner of speaking comes from. Because I was best friends with somebody for years who had the exact same cadence, like I swear to God. They were obsessed with John Mulaney and Thomas Sanders.
So being online as much as I am, I tend to overshare everything about myself. You may know of my love of theater, my enthusiasm for cartoons, and of course, my passion for pizza.
One time I was at the dinner table.
Right? I can't. Your personality is so 2019. No, we, right, made these comedians famous. Did they outgrow it? Are they no longer these people? Possibly. There are those things that we outgrow and we like learn and grow and we're like, oh, I didn't like that about myself. I see that in someone else and not so. I like that in someone else. I'm going to try to be that, right? I knew somebody used that cadence and they outgrew it because it was something everyone was doing in 2019 and I'm not, right? Like my haircut, like the mullet that Jenny McCarthy's wearing. And Melissa McCarthy, sorry, not Jenny McCarthy. Fun.
When I was like 6, because I had to be.
I am damp now, and I will be damp later.
It is a very specific genre of millennial humor that was from 2015 to 2018. It's this weird, dry, sarcastic humor.
I was quite the nerd in school. I'm pretty sure that's a surprise to no one.
But you're perceiving yourself as you're speaking. Most people I know who've ever like acted this way.
So adoptee talk, TikTok, the adoptees, our entire for-profit industry around adoption and the triad that is the birth mom, the adoptive family, and the baby, and the for-profit company or not-for-profit churning out, needing to put food on the table for all their employees, etc. The baby is we pretend is the focus. It is never the focus, right? All you have to do to correct anything like that. What happened? What's going on? I just like lost. That's fun. It like turned my camera on and then off. What happened? There's two me's. There's two me's. Can we kick you? There we go. Okay, wow. That took a while for the other me to get kicked out with the sharing of the screen that was from the other one also. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Fun. An ad from everything. This I don't really know who this person is. I don't know if she's on anything. I listened to the comedy special that was on TikTok and rated on Netflix and rated highly. And talking about like women's sexuality and wanting like missing women who are gorgeous to stay missing and be dead because it moves her up the patriarchy ladder. And yeah, no, she's honest in a way I think a lot of women aren't. And like, I'm a girl's girl. These women are amongst us, right? The orcas are amongst us. Like comedy and how much is real, right? Like, do I think she's gonna like she didn't? None of it was like go out and murder people, right? It was like, I'm just not gonna help in the search party if you're gorgeous and missing. Yeah. Our jealousy, the entire June 1st is her birthday. Anyway, I just wanted to because it's in a tab. It's in a tab. That's what we do now. We're not watching the rest of the one that we were just watching because of Tyler Catastrophe's cadence, but we are still going through the rest because again, we have some of mine, which is what we will be doing. When there's 3, we'll be watching my TikToks. We will not be watching the reposts. I'm not reposting anymore, but I'm also going through withdrawal of like my therapy. So yeah. Oh, we do have the unboxing of an egg. I'm playing this.
Let's unbox and
both look, right? Like this is and everyone in here who's like, this is horrible, pet trade bad, singular egg and all of this, right? Look how much to get a living thing to you in the mail. That's not going to feel pain, not going to do it until it comes out of the shell. The amount that to get a baby chameleon, there's like a 1 year, whatever, how old they are when you buy them in a pet store, for $100. There's been a ton either hatched and then shipped or caught in the wild. He goes over, I'm going to play this because he both is like, don't do this, right? He's like, don't buy these. Here's what, right? This is a lifelong. You might get a female. They're not going to be colored like this. The amount the comment section can't distinguish, right? If he just showed a chameleon, so much worse. All of this implied not telling you not to go out and get one and then not taking care of it for a lifetime. He's very heavily implying this little chameleon will be looked after for its whole life, whether it's female or male, if it hatches. I'm getting those vibes. Baby goslings in Canada, I haven't looked too much into it, but Kelowna, I believe, is where somebody let baby goslings hatch on their deck. And then a day old threw them off. And now the people are understandably very upset. And they're like, what kind of sociopathic? You mean, how do we all talk about Canadian geese? They're not a beloved, let's stay away from them. Why would someone let babies be hatched and then throw them off for dead? That sounds horrible. Also, that's the word, like he lives right there. It's going to be pretty easy to find him. I'm going with it's a him. But how we collectively talk about those vermin that are the baby goslings of the species that's on our money, right? Because the world thinks of Canadian geese because they're called Canadian geese. How dare he kill rats? How dare he kill pigeons? How dare he kill? For us not to deal with our collective delusion around animals and what we owe them, what we don't owe them. I'm going to play this one because, yeah, all the Michaela Fox Rescue, finding them a home when you have to be licensed. That's what she should have done. And this is, right? Michaela Rains, from what I understand, found a fur farm with like 500 foxes, fundraised over $1 million post-death I'm going to go with post $1 million to vet care, look after them until finding them proper homes so they can live out their life not in a tiny cage, but they were in there was 500 of them. They weren't all moved to big places, so they were living in these tiny cages while finding them, which is why I was like, why not euthanize them? Why, like, these aren't dogs and cats. You can't just get them a home. And even then, if there's 500 dogs and cats, probably some of them would end up being euthanized because they get crazy. Because they can't be in confinement around each other like that in jail that we do to humans constantly. Our pet trade, our need to volunteer with animals, ride on elephants, get pictures with elephants, pretend we're helping them while we're just adding to the problem. That's like this huge box. Oh my God, that's a lot of packaging for a tiny egg. To get it to you safely. Have you opened an Amazon package? Like, this unboxing of all the unboxings, I'm like, this is the one you're gonna unboxing culture.
Hatch a panther chameleon egg. Before we do unbox the egg, I feel I am responsible to say that just because you can buy an egg online does not mean that you should without doing your research first, because they can be a little bit pricey and they do take very special care. And just to de-influence you a little bit more real quick, a lot of people don't realize that the very colorful chameleons that you see are male chameleons. The females do not have vibrant colors like this, and when you buy an egg, there's no guarantee that you're going to get a male chameleon. So you could end up with one that's very vibrant, or you...
The packaging is treating it like it's a toy. And but going into a pet store, right, is not where people can like spur of the moment buy a pet that will outlive you because has a higher, longer lifespan than a human, like a turtle or a parrot. No? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this looks like this is bad to do to an animal. No, this is the least bad thing. Are you kidding me? This chameleon egg that may or may not hatch, and you know what I mean? Like, you all don't understand product from people, and it shows.
Could get one that doesn't have much color at all. So if you're going to be unhappy with that, I do not recommend an egg. So when you open the box, it does have an instruction thing right here to tell you what to do when you first open the box, and then it also has a QR code that takes you to an instruction care sheet. Okay, moment of truth. Oh wait, hold on. They also have your Panther Chameleon hatch guarantee policy. So if anything happens to your egg, if it dies and gets moldy, they will give you a new egg. So you get 100% hatch guarantee. All right, let's open it up. Here it is. Wait.
You're just like the copyright strike from Jeffrey Dahmer's urn. And so I was talking about him like unboxing Jeffrey Dahmer, but the whole the bag that had his ashes in it. He was very respectful while doing it. And anyway, all of the what is and isn't someone? What, what are and aren't we entitled to?
That's being really overlooked in the whole Tyler catastrophe.
So everyone in this comment section, right? This take, I think, would be a good take if it was any kind of true, but it's not. Tyler catastrophe doesn't have a problem getting dates. Has gotten dates. Like the need for us to project incel versus actually like the wrong people. Clavicula is probably getting laid less. Like, definitely laid less by actual people who look at him as people, and he looks at them as people. That's happening zero. Oh wait, sorry though. We're going back because we were doing a thing, and that's the one that crashed my.
The province is telling the world that there are no sick children in Fort Chipewyan.
And yes, sick children, sick planet, sick water. This one, AI, which both this is right. This container put in the ground, and then it's made into theoretically AI. What about oxygen? AI doesn't need oxygen. It's AI, by the way. I didn't talk this one as AI because why would I? Until I was like, all right, yeah, that's one shelter. How fun! Look, get in. Who needs oxygen? Who needs facts? Who needs? Let's look this up. Honey, I made you an entire death trap with no oxygen. Carbon monoxide. Where was that on? Chicago Med? One of the med shows just had a carbon monoxide. Like, oh, maybe it was brilliant. No, it was brilliant. It was Brilliant Minds. Yeah, I do know which one it was.
So over the last few days, people have been tagging me in this video. every spider you've ever gingerly captured under a cup.
We're not watching this, but I have watched it. Right, that every we'll play the beginning.
And taken outside and released, died out there.
And my first reaction was, that's weird. Well, I guess the video is just going around again. And I say going around again because I had already seen and replied to this video in 2024. Or had I? Because
we might watch the first sorry, a minute or two for social media literacy, because both, right? She's like, those are improper facts about spiders. And I corrected you 6 months when this all went viral and he got clicks and views and money off of it. And you didn't, because he still has the same point that he made then, which, you know what I mean? Most of the spiders in the home, if you move them outside, will probably die. Some of the spiders, because I hadn't thought it, she makes the point of like, right. And sometimes spiders find themselves inside where they will die of starvation because they are outdoor spiders. You would have to be able to ID, is this an outdoor or indoor spider, to move them to the proper place. And, but like, I already dealt with this. I don't think this is the one where, anyway, someone else, is this regurgitated? Anyway, let's see if she does both clips.
Because the video that I responded to 2 years ago was this video.
Every spider you've ever carefully put a cup over and slid a piece of paper under and then gently released outside died outside.
Same video, different font. But surely that's where the resemblance ends. I'm being told that's not where the resemblance ends.
This was one of my first unfun facts several weeks ago, and a bunch of you didn't believe me. One of my first ever unfun facts, and when I told you, people didn't believe me.
Watching is like, I was like, yeah, no, he said a few weeks ago, and now he's doing it 6 months or a year later, and he's not saying a few weeks ago, right? It's not lying. It's not the person trying to convince me that Tyler Catastrophe is lying and tagging me.
Oh, one more thing.
I don't think you I asked a question. I don't need Tyler Catastrophe to be a hero or a villain. I'm just like, what's the lie? Where's the lie? Oh, I see how you think he's lying. I see how things like the especially the move to England, the crowdfunding, all of it. Like, I get it. I get how the internet responds to such things. I do. Is this the remix one? It is.
If you want to stop,
Monty's brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, no, use the billionaires against the billionaires. Absolutely.
This is the future.
Is what? The future of housing. Do 7. Also, yeah, geodesic domes, which would be watching definitely solutions, but we're not because
the map that brought
this is the one we did watch. Apollo 13.
Apollo 13
that has Bill Paxton in it and Jack Black's born map. Lionsgate Bridge. So right after I got off at Lionsgate, Adam Sandler, who's barely in he is born on the #1 day of the year, September 9th, which was the date in the Titanic. That is his birthday, right? Let me actually relook up. I just remember him being after finding out it was the #1 day. Adam Sandler. It's September 9th. September 9th is his birthday. 1966. How fun. He's 59. And I don't know if he's done now, whether this is he's going home permanently or whether he because he had a different one that was like, on my way home. And Vancouver does have beautiful views. Lionsgate. Stanley Park. Although, which side of the bridge? I don't know. Which Stanley?
I just want to hold my kid.
This is the one. This is the one that Jubilee responded to of when we watch my TikTok, because literally whoever was filming this, the adults in the room, aside from the 2 that are the biological parents of this child, should be in jail for allowing this baby to drink and throw up 6 times on milk.
No.
No, I want to hold him.
I was still mad at Karen because she got the epidural. I almost didn't get to see my kid come into the world. Mommy gets her turn when he's crying at night.
Me.
Also, he's a fucking idiot, right? And this is 90% of our male problem. They don't know when they're being fucking idiots, right? He's like, you nearly killed my baby. I'm just being a protective dad. She's a murderer. No, you're literally murdering your kid because of your fucking brain cells. You're feeding your baby cow's milk because you want to punish your woman for not listening to you and getting an epidural recommended by doctors. Ends in C-section a lot of the time. which didn't, right? Baby's here and healthy, except that he's got a fuckhead of a dad.
No.
You had him all day.
Keelan had just spent an entire day in labor bringing her son into the world, but Jason kept holding the baby and wouldn't let her hold him. He was still angry that she chose an epidural during labor. He believed it could harm the baby. He also felt like he almost missed his son's birth, but Keelan had already been in unbearable pain all day. She was the one going through it. Jason had always been against pain relief. In the end, she asked the doctor for an epidural herself. Now he treated it like a betrayal. He even started questioning whether she could take care of the baby. The baby stayed in his arms the entire time. She wasn't even allowed.
Keeping a baby away from the woman who gave birth to him, unless the woman who gave birth to him, right, her health, baby's health, like child abuse, like the child abuse adopted, we need to be dealing with. He's traumatizing his son while he's pretending to himself, like he believes, probably past a lie detector, he's protecting his son while he's giving him milk and watching him throw up 6 times. After just being born, all that baby wants is his mom and his mom's milk.
To hold him. He coldly told her she could take care of the baby when he cries at night. Jason kept feeding the baby regular milk. The baby had already thrown up 6 times. Keelan quickly realized the baby couldn't tolerate it and suggested switching to formula. Jason refused. He said formula was too expensive and kept forcing regular milk. Watching the baby cry and vomit, Keelan felt heartbroken, but she still wasn't allowed to hold him. Jason kept repeating that if she really cared about the baby, she wouldn't have gotten an epidural in the first.
Toddlers having babies, right? She'd go back in time and listen to him and not do it, right? We're past that. I can't, even if it was the right thing to do to not get the epidural, you're a fucking idiot. You don't love the baby. No, you don't love the baby. You're literally in the moment feeding him feeding him milk, throwing up, and you're like, more of that. Baby, you're not listening. Keep it down. Men shouldn't be around babies until they can prove that they're not fucking gorillas. Which, by the way, are great around babies, except for the 17-year-old males. You know what I mean? Right around when they become dads.
Place. Keelan had explained it over and over. It was to help her deliver safely, not to harm the baby. But Jason refused to listen. He believed he was right. In the end, Keelan stopped arguing. She just looked at her baby shaking from crying and couldn't say anything.
I just want to hold my kid.
We have some news right now.
We're potentially watching these ones because I think they are. Again, we're going through detox. You know, so like Jubilee's posting and this is like 5 days worth of reposts, right? It's like this is a lot of days worth of reposts that we're not even watching. Alex Jones going on a show with his shirt off and being like, "You're wearing my shirt," right? Like, come on, this is not a mental health crash. Like. The Onion? You mean that YouTube thing that does skits? No, long before that, The Onion bought InfoWars, and he is basically the Onion. You know what I mean? Like, this couldn't be better. This is an Onion skit, right? Is this to announce it? Like, this is the PR? I can't tell. I can't tell whether Alex Jones is actually crashing out. Who takes their shirt off to crash out? Put a shirt on before you crash it, right? Like, it seemed to be part of it, and people are looking like if I was on TV naked, that's a nightmare of mine. Yeah, no, it's his kink. You know what I mean? Like, he's just gonna whip out his eggplant any moment. Like, for us, the audience, not to understand what it is we're seeing, they should just get help. Like, where do you go if you want to get naked on camera right in front of your audience that you built InfoWars on? Just like, what is happening here? I don't know. Plus him. Pretend journal. Yeah, all of it. All of it.
Alex Jones is legitimately crashing out after The Onion purchased InfoWars and is giving the proceeds to the Sandy Hook victims that Alex Jones defamed. Alex Jones went on air shirtless and started screaming about The Onion on InfoWars. I mean, this is a trigger warning because you're about to see Alex Jones shirtless, but he's actively crashing out.
You can't take something over and then act like you're somebody, even if you say it's a parody. You can do a parody of somebody, but none of you took something from them.
Right.
We've already checked with lawyers, so they're in deep shit. I'm already suing the Democrat Party law firms. Already got
It's like it's shirtless. I can't. If any woman's over emotional, like it's Alex Jones. Alex Jones is the most emotional woman. As of April 2026, this is AI overview. Satirical news organization The Onion has announced a new deal to take over Alex Jones' conspiracy-fueled media platform InfoWars. This move is backed by the families of the victims of the 2012 Sandy Hook elementary school shooting, to whom Jones owes over $1 billion in defamation. So Onion bought it, right, to give the proceeds intellectual property of $81,000 a month for 6 months with an option to renew. The deal: the Onion parent company, Global Tetrahedron, has reached an agreement with court-appointed trustee to license the InfoWars domain name and intellectual property of $81,000 a month for 6 months with an option to renew. Which is also like it being the Onion, it being both he has $1 billion makes sense, and versus the $10 million one. And he's like, right, so I'll just tank everything so you can't make a penny off of my slander and lies that I've got $1 billion. And they're like, right, no, we'll just use your thing you already built. Except what are they going to do? Turn it into the Onion? It's already the Onion. You know, like, keep it Fox News. Like, what are they? How do they get paid? You know what I mean? Like, how do they actually make money? This is weird.
civil rights lawsuits. Do you think, look, just because you're wearing my shirt, don't mean you're me. So let's be 100% clear about that. And so you guys just keep laughing, just like you did a year and a half ago, or it was November 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So is that about a year and a half?
Yeah, this is a story from December 10th. Sale of Alex Jones' InfoWars to The Onion.
Yeah, and I have no idea who the other guy is. Alex Jones. I don't even remember the name of often. I get him confused with a few other people. But he breaks, right? He's shirtless at the anchor who's just there. He's like, "You've sold my business." And I don't think he sold it to them. I don't think he is the person. I'm just crazy like that, knowing how things work, right? That like, even when it's the Stephen Colbert report, right? Stephen Colbert doesn't own it. Let alone when it's InfoWars started by Alex Jones, who got, you know what I mean, $1 billion edict against him because he was hurting children of Uvalde. It was Uvalde, right? It was not Uvalde, it was Sandy Hook.
Rejected, and I'll get into it.
I know how things are going in Alex Jones's land, and that's how they are. Spread the word, as always. Follow along for all the news you need to know about. We have some news right now.
I feel like something that's being really overlooked in the whole Tyler catastrophe conversation.
This is not what's happening with Tyler catastrophe, both because Tyler's getting all the dick he wants, and the internet misunderstanding. And these people like do it. There are people out there who want desperately to be in a relationship and have never been asked, never been picked, never, no matter how much time and effort they put in, that's of both all genders and sexualities. And the amount that our entire society is built around romance and this lie that your one's out there and you just got to meet them and then everything will click into place and you'll never have to work at it. Just put the dick in charge, right? What are we going to do when there's two lesbians? Don't think about it.
Happening right now is the fact that he made a video saying that he has never been asked out before. And the second that I heard him say that, everything clicked.
Okay, since we're here anyway, and we're watching, after we watch mine, we may go to Lee's, because Lee's take on the non-binary people being like, you look like Tyler Catastrophe, and being like, them being like, that's transphobic, and he's transphobic for existing online. Well, they're a therapist who have, and I'm going to get their pronouns wrong doing between the two of them. Dear God, I'm like, no, I also have followed Lee for a long time, and I would say that Tyler Catastrophe looks a little bit like Lee. And it's like, that's just transphobic. I don't think people understand what it is to be part of a group that you claim people hate while being visibly recognizable. If only we had some Black people to ask what that experience might be. All the people. It's time to come back together and share notes.
Place, you guys. We do not talk enough about just how impactful it is to a person's self-esteem to grow up without any romantic attention. It sounds silly, it sounds stupid. You're sitting there thinking, oh, like the relationships that people have in middle school, high school, like they're not
All we have right now, from what I can tell, is hookup culture. All like there isn't what? There is no romantic intention. There like we need a new something that actually continues our species because we're about to go extinct. Or just leave it up to the evangelical like if you haven't been yeah, no, it doesn't look like Hollywood. No one's giving you a script, right? Now how do I read mine? You know, me too.
love of your life. You know, like you're not these relationships are not significant. They absolutely are. What is being communicated to your mind as someone who grew up without any romantic attention? When you are not being picked, when people are not having a crush on you, whatever, what that ends up like signaling to your brain is that you are fundamentally undesirable. And at that point in your life, you're too young to really have any.
And men, cis men, trans women, cis men, being in a world where nature itself makes the chameleons, the males, the birds, the colorful one, for a reason, because he has to attract her, showcase he's got the right stuff to form that egg that they're going to look after, nature's going to look after. In our species, somehow women are the ones who get all dolled up, who, you know what I mean? Or like, we're the ones who literally carry the egg for 9 months until it hatches. We put in all the risk, and somehow the men are in charge of it all. The pick-me of our entire, right? You need to pair off one-on-one, and the man's in all of it, broken as fuck. But we've given men, with our human ability for language and storytelling, the idea that she's out there, not only she's going to be your AI counterpart, it's going to know all her lines, say every, right? She's just broken if you have a feeling. If you're angry and entitled and, you know, just date them. You're the reason he went out and murdered people, because you wouldn't date him. You know what I mean? Like our sense of entitlement on men. And anyway, he was born female, right? And socialized as such. And not with how we treat tiny babies we know have penises in their diapers, which is very different than how we treat tiny babies we know have vaginas in their diapers, and how we treat tiny babies who we don't know because their parents won't tell us. And then that has every conversation be about gender, which is what the pronoun gender thing did, right? Every conversation's about gender amongst a population who does not understand, cannot distinguish gender from sex. Either sexes. No, I don't mean the binary sexes. I mean intercourse and the biological sexes.
Sort of like critical understanding of what's going on and like the factors at play, like why that's not happening for you or whatever. You just end up feeling like I cannot be wanted in this very tender, you know, vulnerable, personal way. Like people do not want me. And this 9 times.
This is the information our biological tiny humans get when they're adopted, or their mother dies, or they're in surrogacy, or anything that our tiny human brains can't comprehend, when our entire world who gave birth to us isn't the one we are put with and kept with. We don't have the language, but we must be wrong. There is a fundamental wrongness to the world. And 20, 35 times more likely to take themselves off the planet. Yet we've decided to rearrange all of society and gender for the 2 to 3 times more likely trans kids are. And then told them and their parents and all of medicine that they will die if we don't shove them full of pharmaceutical billionaire crap. It doesn't fix capitalism, doesn't fix any of it. 35 times. Oh no, we can't talk about stopping adoption. That's a $1 billion, $1 trillion industry. How are people going to get babies they can own? If they can't, you know what I mean? Our entire ownership, entitlement, relationship, patriarchy.
out of 10 ends up coming out in very dysfunctional ways, which I think is something we end up seeing with Tyler Catastrophe, like having this preoccupation with a celebrity, and saying that he has this like really profound crush and obsession with.
He did in this video. It was like, I can only, right? And some of us are, right? Some of us are even identified as poly. I'm like, am I though? Because I'm pretty fucking monogamous. Like, I'm pretty into one person at a time. Like, it only gotta be one person at a time. Him moving like everything. They're like, he's only into football because because Wilbur Soot's into football. And he's like, no, I've been on, I think he calls it the pitch. It's like, we don't call it the pitch. And right, but he might be into it in a way that the Britons are into it, right? Like knows those. Yeah, no, because that's really who's into it. Not the White Claw, White Cliff. Nope, we got it wrong. White Caps. White Caps of Vancouver. I don't even know the name of the team. Not as big of a culture for soccer as there is for football. Same sport, different names, right? Where it takes place. That people aren't in any way taking him at his word, right? No, I like football. You can't. You only like it because what? You can't call it football. Okay.
A celebrity. But like this is very, very significant. Like him not experiencing any romantic attention explains, I think, messing my brains up. I think it explains a lot of what we're seeing happen. And in general, we need to give more credit to that experience of growing up without romantic attention and the sort of self-esteem issues that it creates. In general, I wish well for Tyler Catastrophe. I really hope he gets off the internet. I don't think that this could be good for him in any capacity.
Going to Tyler Catastrophe's page, he has over 1 million views on like every video. So if he was a narcissist who only cared about as the internet, he would be overjoyed. The one about Stuart Simple, who is I think the pigment person. I watched some of the videos and like the pink is pink and I don't know if the black is black and white is white or whether they're different people, but anyway, the job offer, what he said of like, hey, nice guy, met him, still has the bracelet. And everyone's like, see, he doesn't love you. You're never going to be picked. It's Tyler. This isn't good for his mental health. Much like Kendra, I think he's handling it better than the majority of the internet, including Lee. Lee, the therapist, is not handling Tyler Catastrophe going viral. And they didn't handle themselves potentially going viral with Ritter. What's his name? He's on the Kathy Bates Matlock, and he's got a famous dad as well who died on September 11th, his little brother's birthday. Anyway, when he's walking down on someone's down the hallway and he face plants, and I've seen that come up a few times. I saw him talk about it though, where he literally face plants and he. Oh, him telling the story and him like, he recorded a video, I think, on the day that happened and then didn't release it until him and that show decided to release him face planting on the camera.
People really hate him for reasons that I don't quite understand. I wish him well. That's really it. I feel like something that's being really overlooked.
Well, that's
So Jody Hildebrandt has been in my life
this entire account, because again, this is someone who experienced Jody Hildebrandt, Mormons, this woman, right? This therapist who comes in and rearranges your entire life, and your parents allow it, and the church allows it and encourages it. The church pushed Jody Hildebrandt on people. The Mormon church is directly responsible for what happened to the Frankie children. Jody Hildebrandt, a closeted lesbian who can't get her rocks off, honestly, has to dupe Mormon women, right, who are whatever, as gay as my mother or not. You know how gay is my mother? Quite, but closeted because of evangelical Christianity. And all of that. But we're not watching this one because we got other things to watch. But in case you didn't know, this person exists. Ooh, look, they have a lot of followers, I do believe. They're not a small account. 3 million, yeah. I do not know what their face tattoo says.
Parents of adult children.
And I definitely want to hear this one. We're gonna watch all of because yeah, this idea like who's owed what. our ownership of children, and that like they owe us obedience and then they owe us to look after us in old age because you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, boomers. You did not look after your parents. You did not look after your kids, and your kids aren't going to look after you. So you might want to, you know what I mean, create all of capitalism to look, you know what I mean? Yep. Yep. There's an estrangement reason.
Who have gone no contact. This video is for you. Let's talk. I'm an adult child that is currently no contact with my mom, and I have been for 6 months. And every time I make a video that is geared toward the children of emotionally immature parents, you guys love to come into my comment section and say shit like this, where you are wishing that one of my children goes no contact with me in 20 years. And a lot of you come up with the same themes. You say things like, I sacrificed so much for my children while they were growing up. I went through so much to have my kids. I worked 3 jobs. I paid for soccer. I paid for the piano lessons. I paid for their college. And this is how they repay me. I'm going to ask you a question in just a second. But before I get to that, let me say this one thing. Your children didn't ask you to sacrifice for them. We didn't want you to sacrifice. We just wanted you there. We wanted you there emotionally. And as children, we don't know what that looks like. You shape our reality. And when we grow up, if we make the choice to work on ourselves, sometimes we figure out that what we had growing up was not healthy. And then we turn to you. A lot of you say phrases like, I would take a bullet for my kids. Okay. Well, nobody's asking you to do anything that dramatic. But let me ask you if you would do something just as important. Would you change for your kids? Would you do the work in yourself to uncover your own trauma and heal from it? Because I guarantee you, 95% of you who come in my comment section and show your asses have children who said to you, I'm not going to accept this. I wish you would change it. And instead of you saying, honey, I love you and I value you, and I will do the work to try to change this thing to save our relationship, you tell us to basically fuck off. So I guess I'll see you in 20 years when both of my kids are still talking to me because I'll apologize when I mess up. And you'll probably still just be as miserable as you are now. Parents of adult children who have gone no contact. This video
Did you say why you stomped on her head?
At night, Jason kept
I'm just making this video because I'm unpin.
At night, Jason kept feeding the baby regular milk. The baby had already thrown up 6 times.
Now I'm going off the 1 minute video. Every adult, and I don't just mean the dad who's feeding the baby milk at his stupid insistence that, you know what I mean, that he's punishing her because she got an epidural. Every photographer, every director should be in jail for the neglect and abuse for their profit and entertainment and our entertainment and their profit. Did we need social media to happen to put the camera back in and realize there's other human adults involved? This was aired for our entertainment? Like, this happens all over the world, men being stupid. Thinking they know better because of their feelings were hurt than actual medical facts. And the health of their baby, and the mother and baby pay the price. But that there was a film crew in that room. And then we all watched it from our TVs? Am I remembering that correct? Like, did this one maybe not air and we didn't all rage into the street demanding that baby be protected? And all babies be protected?
At night, Jason kept feeding the baby.
Did you say why you stomped on her head?
She's been a bully to him. That's it.
So the video we watched on Instagram, of that boy picking her up and curb stomping her fucking head. And taking a moment of anger and entitlement because he was called a pussy and proving just how pussy testicles are. You know what I mean? That is his mom. And we're going to listen to her.
Did he say why he stomped?
Right? Now, this is what am I, right? No, what am I? No, it couldn't have been. He's my precious little baby. He would never, I wouldn't have raised such a sociopathic asshat who would, you know what I mean? She must be at fault. The amount our entire criminal justice system is this, and the rich people getting their kids off, and nobody looking at who he needs to be, I don't know, put in a room and called pussy until he doesn't react violently. I don't know. Stop leaving it to women and children to pay the price.
On her head?
She's been a bully to him. That's it.
She's been a bully to him.
Yes, from in the classroom of the classes what they have, and some messages what I sent to his phone from her. We learned she's been a bully to him and pushed him down, and he fell.
So then he picks her up because of that and stomps on her head. That justifies that?
No, they were what I learned is like they were friends. They're not friends overall in general, because they go to the same school. You understand?
Yeah.
That would show that she's bullying him.
Yeah, we have it. It's online.
Do you know the name? What do you mean it's online? Online where?
You know her name?
Was he trying to get her phone number? Was he trying to
No,
date her?
He has her number. She's on Instagram. She's on WhatsApp sending messages. And
just because a postal truck just went by, is the American postal truck, the Canadian postal truck that's sitting there in the Graham manifestation alley video, I believe on a Toronto street where Drake put a bunch of ice. Anyway, that was just the postal truck driving by. No. We've all manifested this, and there is someone who so many accounts I come on and I want to come and record, and like, what the fuck is the point? Because they just go away, right? Like, what is the point in cataloging, doing any of that? It may come back. I'm living in the moment, living more and more in the moment. I am the anti-prophecy prophet. The anti-prophet? I don't know. The anti-something, the pro-something else. I don't remember what I was saying. We'll just continue on with postal trucks driving by when mothers are okay and their sons being homicidal.
in his.
So where are the texts
I
that we
have
can
them.
see them? Where can we see the texts?
I'm not to talk to you guys.
Okay, but where are the texts online?
Go on WhatsApp.
Did he say why he stomped on her head?
Did she just say go on WhatsApp? Because you definitely can't go on someone else's WhatsApp and see, you know what I mean, and see what they're... What? What's what? Well, that's not how that works. Back to me freaking out about
Did he say why he stomped
the
on
men
her
of our
head?
species.
She's been a bully to him.
Testosterone. We needed to figure
I
it the fuck
just
out.
posted a video that had a clip from Unexpected season 5. I now know, and I erroneously thought was Teen Mom from long ago. Where a dad is feeding his small infant newborn milk and keeping him away from the mummy, because she got an epidural while giving birth to his child, and he's being an egoic monster. I just watched that woman's son body slam a woman's head, a girl's head, into the ground and stomp on her head while other teens recorded and laughed. And now I'm watching the internet say this teenage boy should be tried as an adult. The adults don't have it. All over society, check out Unexpected as, again, that was recorded and posted online. My tantrum on my last video still stands. Add it to this one, and that's what's going on. 14-year-old boy gets turned down by a girl, he's got his whole ego and hormones and testosterone going. So much so he harms somebody's head. Most vital organ. Does he not know that? Possibly not. Well, other kids cheer him on because they don't have prefrontal cortexes fully formed. They got hormones and an entire society not helping them figure out what the F to do with the testosterone drug coursing through their blood. And we're making women, girls, responsible for it. That's his mother. She was being, I don't care what she said to him. Nothing okays laying hands on her, right? She called him a pussy. A pussy. Then he showed himself to be a diseased prostate. Yeah. A 14-year-old diseased prostate who needs, our human species needs to grow the F up and not rely on mummies solely. Right? The parents need to go to jail as if they had a gun. How? He didn't have a gun. Was he physically violent with his mom at home? And she was like, well, I guess if it's me, it's okay. Who knows? These things can go on in family units, and there's nothing in society besides the fake AF criminal justice system. Relying on teenagers to not commit crimes and not permanently disable other teenagers.
I believe the Jody Hildebrandt one, if that was the account that I was on, where she was talking about Mormon living in a Mormon, she probably lives in Utah, and how it's quite common for high school students and teenager to date their students and end up leaving their teaching positions and stuff and getting caught, etc. Anne of Green Gables, it is a plot point in Anne of Green Gables, and they have a one-room house, and I don't remember her name, leaves school and marries the teacher, and then the new teacher comes and Anne bonds with her and makes her the rat or mouse pudding. What's my point? But specifically, we're teenagers and our friends are dating a teacher, we don't go and tell a trusted adult, because no fucking course we don't. There aren't any trusted adults. The adults are preying on the teenagers and dating them, right? And you're a teenager who thinks you know everything, including with your parents who actually do love and care about you, but doesn't feel like that, right, when you're a teenager. Our retired society, how we treat the youth of our species, the babies and the children, but the youth of our species. Well, they're like, you're not allowed to do drugs, and you're not allowed to have sex, and you're not allowed to get pregnant. Well, everything in their body is telling them to go with their body, and you know what I mean, society and their peers, and not their parents, not logic, not. Well, the adults are doing the capitalism off a cliff thing that's not logical at all. The pretending monogamous forever lies, romance movies for happily ever after. That should be easy. And then men in charge. The epiphany, maybe men weren't supposed to be fathers, and the feelings that come from that, from all the men and children and etc. Maybe men weren't supposed to be fathers. A society where men don't know the parentage of their children, where they aren't owed monogamy. So they, even if they're with a woman and they're in love with them and their woman's in love with them, you know what I mean? She gives birth to a baby that she owns as far as a human owns, and you don't know them, they're autonomous humans. With the understanding women can be bullies and narcissistic and can give birth to something they hate. how people are treating Tyler Catastrophe online for being the personification. We're going to watch Lee's. We're absolutely going to watch Lee's because the personification of everything. I'm going to therapize the therapist without having gone to school at all on social media. It's not because I liked Lee up until the point, and this is Lee, who is adorable, looks a lot, reminds me a lot of Dr. Shy with Carlos and Guilt by Association, which is the name of the movie that got taken down since yesterday from YouTube, or in Canada at least. Carpoozy, December 4th. Also, day I'm baptized, right? Earlier. Anyway, 4:30 in the morning is the day Mean Girls and Bobby Jones came out. If you turn time into a date. And the adults have not grown the F up. Someone come help me save world. Come create world peace for the love of God. Or are we going to leave it up to the eggplants mummies, right? He was bullied. He's the bad guy. And he doesn't know what to do with his feet and hands that isn't violence when he feels his feelings have been hurt. Because Trump, because Epstein, because all the adults who don't know how to F an adult that are all over scripted media and politics and World War. And he feels entitled. Trump's tweets, whatever platform they're on, being genocidal and senile and like that little boy who like had his feelings hurt because someone called him a pussy and he curb stomped her. I don't think that's actually what that's called, but like slammed his foot into her head with all of his anger, all of his full body, right? Not a shove away like you would if someone's coming at you and you feel you're actually, it's like she was feeling her safety was at stake. It was going away from him and he was following her, picked her up, threw her on the ground, and then still didn't leave her alone. Yeah, the audience, actually there, not us, the audience, egging him on. Why don't those teenagers step in and you act like a cop that doesn't exist that was started on residential schools and slaves, depending on runaways? You know, like the adults don't have it. We do. Come create it. And you all should get the priceless YouTube channels back. To a woman's time and energy when she makes fun of him instead. He has his ego on the line. He curb stomps her instead. Totally valid. 14-year-old male thing to do. Because we haven't grown the F up and learned what to do with our... I need people to go watch the David Attenborough, which I don't know what it's called. Let me just look up. Is it even TV show? I feel like it would be movies. Recently added. Will you give me documentary? Finding hair. Yeah, okay. Gorilla. A Gorilla Story told by David Attenborough, which on my streaming service has it coming up April 16th, 2026. Might be a day or two off, but sometimes it is. That particular, how long is it? I'm just going to click on it 1 second. Hour and 17 minutes. Movie about gorillas from somebody who is the primatologists. I know them. I've read about them. I've watched every movie, every. Didn't know David Attenborough had met a gorilla and his take on Diane Fossey and really her being responsible for, even if I'm holding her responsible, David Attenborough holds her responsible for saving the mountain gorilla. And the dynamics of the mountain gorilla versus the dynamics of chimpanzees and bonobos and orangutans. Orangutans are solo. And the three women brought together by Louis Leakey, all white, all women studying primates in different areas of the world and what they gave to science and what the world dynamics going on in the Congo in the case of Diane Fossey, and the mountain gorillas in Rwanda in the case of Jane Goodall, and the other one, Barut, I think is her name, who just died. And now the day she died keeps kind of, what was the thing that just came up on March? Because March 24th is the day she died. I feel like one of these tabs is March 24th, but instead we're going to go to March 24th because I feel like whatever the actor was might have been already on the spreadsheet, and that's going to be better than potentially not having them in the tabs. Well, it is Allison Hannigan's birthday, so there is that, and that is, I think, who I was thinking of, but I think it's, anyway, someone else who just came up, I don't think. Mean Girls cast member Erin Samuels. YouTube channel. Margot playlist. Well, it was Margot playlist. Handmaid's Tale cast member. Oh, yeah. I was just free because, what's her name? Black woman who is in Brilliant Minds. And she's also in Handmaid's Tale. Thorpe is her, Ashley Thorpe. And, I now know her as that person on Brilliant Minds, and the fact that she is also the woman who she gets shot, she gets put into a coma and is forced to carry baby. Like the real life Black woman, don't know her name, don't know the baby's name. Baby's name is like Chance or Luck or something. Born in the States after that happened, and after all the Black women were like, Handmaid's Tale is our lived history, not Attenborough's dystopia, and both and. Also, she is in, I want to say The Rookie, the second episode of The Rookie, where he hits her with a car and she's escaping from someone, and that was what, looking her up, and don't know what her birth date is because it's not available, but that she's in Handmaid's Tale. June, I don't remember her actual actress's name, who's a Scientologist. And I don't remember what this one's saying. We're in the same shirt. Weird. No, it's like anger and testosterone in the teens of our male of our species. The 17, you need to watch the gorilla thing, because the 17-year-old gorilla that's the bad guy, but like also they all jokered him. And so did, like, that's just what that species is. What we are as a mammalian species. We have varying different dynamics across rodents, marsupial, like all of it. We're supposed to be learning from nature, which for me involves the process I have of judging people and projecting and learning from them. Deciding to do that with animals at the post October 7th, and the lions and the orcas and that process, and that, like, I'm like, right now, my love for animals is safe enough that I don't ever really actually want the annihilation of the entire species, despite the fact whatever horrificness they do, they're animals, it's their nature, it's what they're supposed to do. God intended them to be as they are. They are reality. My feelings about it don't change it, right? The cannibalistic orcas and them all in the ocean together, and some of them having 50, 60 family members because they're trying to counteract the 3 that are out being sociopathic asshats. And the go forth and multiply of various religions. One sociopathic strategy, because you cannot divide a property inheritance indivisibly forever, right? Divided by 12 for the first group of 12 sons, and then you're out of land after 5 generations. You know what I mean? Like, that's what exponential growth is. If you have 4 kids, you're out of land. Just 12 shows it much sooner. And point. The $1 billion contract of Scientology. The war of culture that is the orcas. Like, orcas speak. They have language. They have passed on culture. They are a matriarchal species that is also horrific to one another, to the animals they hunt versus elephants and wildebeest and lions and orangutans, and like all of them. How they parent, how they, because that's what it is to be any species. To continue as a species, it is in fact your species of babies and raised to adulthood who have babies and raise them to adulthood. That we have language and stories and culture and everything put on top of our nature. And still, we're still biological beings. We're still chemical beings. We're still physical beings. And to not deal in that reality and throw religion and economics and things we've made up on top of it, and not look at the animal kingdom and like, right, they're not taking Sundays off. They're not holding the Sabbath. Like, right? Like if the whole animal kingdom held Sunday Sabbath, we'd be like, okay. So Christianity, like whatever, Judaism, Christianity, they got it, right? Like the Sabbath day is holy. The snakes even listen, right? No, we didn't get obedient children. We got the species we have to put it on our youth who don't have prefrontal cortexes to not get pregnant. You're the problem. You would wait until you have your career and you're 40 and you can't do it and get a surrogate and pass that trauma on to the baby. Like a grown-ass adult. Drugs. Illegal ones that are never legal. No, and then like alcohol and tobacco and ones that become legal. Voting, you don't get to vote. You don't get a say in society until you're 18, right? And you don't get to consume things that change your mind and alter until you're an age where we've decided, but before that, you don't listen to people because that's what that age is. And you seek, like the rest of nature, things like alcohol and fermentation. Alcohol is a disabling human factor in pregnancy. It leads to disability. So does lead. So does what we're doing to our entire planet. That we don't, when we're at our most susceptible in fetal development, is also when we're at our most ignorant to our pregnancies. Yet alcohol is run a fucking plenty in society, and pot and other ones that aren't as detrimental to fetus. Folic acid being put in things because you can find yourself pregnant any time, and spina bifida, etc. Who we are as a species, what happens during fetal development, what happens during human development on this planet with teens and youth and coming into our full adult selves. What does it mean to grow up? Biologically, biology has it, right? You're gonna biologically mature or not, depending on if there's pharmaceutical, you know what I mean? Like if you have hormone blockers. Not yet, but still it's going to come. We are the human beings we are born, and we go through the journeys we have been on. And let's finish watching this and then get to I need to go eat something. I'm going to get a banana.
End up in a career path that fits. Tyler Catastrophe.
This is like a bed of like there's nothing in the middle. What goes in the middle? These are bad things. Why is the for I'm just gonna listen up to the point that I listened to. Will I go get a banana? Of the point where I made my video of like, oh, this is a new word. I didn't know that, despite the fact I'm the Jubilee.
You hit the nail right on the head, buddy. That's what we're looking at. Like many of you, I've spent the last few days deeply engulfed in the Tyler Catastrophe situation. I've gathered my thoughts into a Venn diagram, although I don't know if it counts though, because I frankly can't find anything that goes in the middle, but feel free to let me know if you have anything. All right, I think for the sake of positivity, we should go through the good first. First up, we all agree that Tyler Catastrophe is a man. I think that that is a positive step that we're not talking about enough. Even the people who normally would be saying otherwise agree that Tyler Catastrophe is a man. Is this because he is displaying?
I literally, because this is nothing to, like, what? They're being transphobic We have to go to Tyler Catastrophes. Hopefully the comments still up. Let me see. We're clearly not watching to the point where she uses the word that 12 hours ago. Is there a new? Oh, no, someone else, of course, posted. Of course. What am I talking about? Is it this one?
Mutual understanding is very important to me. And because I talk to people for a living,
There was a specific comment that was. I've read thousands of comments over the past few weeks. Not one was transphobic or about appearance. They're all transphobic about appearance, first of all, right? They don't actually have to, like, I can't. We're going to watch Lee, who's also trans, right? And still transphobic, right? Still, because we're all going through the gender fuck. We're all dealing with the fish in water of gender, of sex, of the patriarchy. And like, I've read that not one has been, are you kidding me? So many. We're going to listen to Lee, who's part of the demographic, right? Be like, they're a they that's not a me. I'm a me that's good. They're a them that's bad. Yeah, that's humans. Israel's going through bringing the family back together without dealing with any of the tension that Eureka'd while watching Big Love with Bill Paxton. Story about polygamous Mormons and the doctrine that talks about polygamy and how fundamental it is to Mormonism. And I had already been down the obsession rabbit hole. One of the TV shows is called Rabbit Hole. Don't remember. Brilliant Minds, maybe? I think. With AI. And it's called, nope. Back to. What are we talking about? Not back to. I guess we're on Brilliant AI. Right, awesome. Don't remember. Oh, wait, let's go read the comment. That should help. That was the comments, right? Just because you haven't seen and other people haven't experienced, right? I'm in the same group as them and they don't like them. Like that, the woman with the black one with the cat we just saw in bed talking about how they can't imagine anyone dated this person. Therefore, no, that's not what he has said at all. And his confidence, everything he gives on the internet suggests they're like, even the person who they've said bad things about on the internet, they were like, I think that you did a bad thing by offering me a job I made up in my head, right? Like he admits fully that, like, right, no, my bad. I fundraised, I did all this thing thinking there was a job when there wasn't, but like, you could have been better at this. And like, you played a part of this too. And I think they put too much on the other person, and the other person putting out the video or two pictures that are like, hey, look, picture of us both meeting each other and the bracelet, and what a nice bloke, but it wasn't a job offer. And the internet's response, of course, I don't really like the collective internet and the echo chamber of like, we all hate this person, right? And then other people be like, I don't understand why people hate him. Look, because they're looking in a mirror. Everyone's looking in a mirror always. Whatever they're hating in him, they're hating in themselves. Fat phobia, transphobia, male phobia, female phobia, it's all here, right? All in the gender fuck. And like, yeah, no, like the ableism, the need for him to be both like, he never got in a car accident, he better go get a full-time job, and how dare he make art and sell it for too much money and want to move to England. The most offensive thing I've seen Tyler Catastrophe do, because there's, a worst someone's done in Jubilee's mind. And I got a lecture on Wilbur Soot from my favorite person. So like, you know what I mean? I'm like, right, no, just because you're friends with someone I consider bad, whatever, doesn't make you a bad person. Fandom, wanting to date, all of it. We're on our individual journeys. And I think for me, honesty is more important. And so that's why I'm like, where's the lie? I don't see lies the same way other people. It's funny. One of my more recent videos after I posted it might be my most recent, if it's available. I was like, I'm Jack. Back when I thought Jack was crazy before I had my spiritual awakening. And I was like, we were constantly talking about where the lie, like he could, like, I'm not lying. Like, what are you talking about? Go back. You called me a bitch. He's like, live in the moment. Like, why are you not forgiving me for something that happened yesterday? Because you could, what? It's like, right, where's the lie? And like, I didn't. Anyway, my aphasia makes this so much fun because my lack of memory and my willingness to be wrong really fast. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not taking down. When I was watching the clip about Unexpected and I thought it was Teen Mom or 16 and Pregnant, and then I'm like, I'm not taking that down. I've murdered my ego. Like, I don't think you all understand that everything everyone else experiences as me and ego is them and ego. And it's a fun because like I got no choice but to plant at the center of my bed. And the more people are like, well, you should do something else. Nope.
Sometimes that's difficult because when you're such
Because I'm just getting more and more popular, and everyone's like, they should take a break. We're gonna listen to Lee. We covered on the long lost ones. Lee and my like at the end, we're gonna watch the whole one of their first take because they basically diagnose them as delusional and then say the internet needs to stop. Well, then they go on and talk about how they, by existing, like Lily Tino, who I can see their point on. Lily Tino is a bane of trans existence online, and you know what I mean. But yeah, that's what it is to be part of a group. Who decides if you're part of a group or not? Right? That Lee doesn't want to claim Tyler catastrophe. So instead, Lee's being a bad therapist, like all the everyone's saying about Therapy Jeff. And I'm like, right, no, Therapy Jeff's no longer a therapist. He does have therapy in his title, but also our need for professionalism without growing the fuck up as a species. And like, what is professionalism? It's paying for someone to mask for us, right? It's like, right, pretend you don't have a sexuality. Pretend you never get laid outside of this. Basically the equivalent of what happens with kids when they run into their teacher in the real world, and the teacher, it's like, right, no, I exist outside of the classroom. I do in fact exist. And all the adults haven't figured that out. Like your doctor, celebrities, they do in fact exist outside of your existence. You're hidden. You know what I mean? Just cover your face. What are we going to? I feel like the Jubilee we're going to, so I can figure out where we're going to. Because I feel like that's not quite right. But oh yeah, no, I think it is. I think we're watching.
End up in a career path that
Okay,
fits
we're
their
watching
name, that they become the thing they're named for.
Nominative determinism. I can't say it, but I am it. The Jubilee? My birth name? My purpose? The weird Messiah of it all. Who says Messiah today? What? I feel like it was on Brilliant Minds, but I don't remember who said it. Potentially the actor Gris, who has my dad's birthday. I was reminded of again. He was also on The Good Wife guy. The Good Wife, not a guy. I don't know where that came from. Tyler catastrophe. Wilbur Soot, Jubilee light. The other male family member's birthday. That Tyler, no, sorry, the other one. Wilbur Soot. Can we keep reminding? Someone come help me save the world. Put the signs and symbols together, because crazy pants. Crazy pants.
End up in a career path.
Okay, but do you know your line? Like, do you know your line in this comment? Because here you go, since you don't believe Tyler ever said a lie about the situation, I believe what I asked in both comment and video form was, what is or where is the lie? Not, he never did it. I don't believe you. Right? That's not what I said. That was all added from a question. What was the lie? Some people pointed out some things that I understand people see of as misunderstanding, but this is indeed a lie about me, right? I didn't say I believe Tyler never lied about the situation. I'm only meeting Tyler through the internet, and well, the internet's gonna internet.
I get this Rochelle person. Like I've showed you so much proof of the lie. You haven't established what the fucking lie is. You just keep showing proof. Like, that you can't get that is not a me problem. Like, it's like, right, no. Now you're saying, look at this proof, you liar. Now you're calling me a liar because I asked for where's the lie. Just because I'm not full-heartedly jumping on the internet and being like, oh my god, you're right, he is a liar. Where's my pitchfork? I'm gonna stab him too. Doesn't mean I don't understand the nuance of where you see the lie. I do. You don't. Like, that's a bit, like, do you understand you're calling me a liar? You're saying he never, no, I never said he never lied. I asked, what was the lie? You answered the question. You don't need to write an entire thesis and tag me in every video that ever comes across your, see, hate him like I do. No.
Okay, but do you know your line? Like, do you know your line in this comment? Because here you go.
Look at everyone's comments are like, post the link. I notice how I never said that. I never fucking said that, but you keep posting links, which I have to copy and paste. Let's see if it's actually available. Because that, right? I'm like, I'd have to go there. That's work. I'm not doing that.
Actually, fuck Stuart Semple. I've been so incredibly pissed off at the way this man fucked me over a year, and I don't like being angry, and I want to leave all these.
But this is actually, let's go to catastrophe things. Oh, there was one in here. Why are people, this is my favorite, because again, this is like, why are they donating to him? What do you think they're donating to? A GoFundMe for him to move to, like, right, he's honest. This is my problem of like, where's the lie? Okay, cool, thank you for clarifying. Like, it doesn't mean I'm saying he never lied. People lie. People get things wrong. People are misinformed. This entire thing of people's $5, whatever. Sometimes people do this if a $5 minimum, just Jolene Poe, Edgar Allan, Jolene Poe, right? Someone gave $10 just to make that joke. That is right. No, Tyler got $10 so someone could make fun of, but he got the, you know what I mean? Yep. He's a big time grifter and shouldn't be getting any money from this gimmick he's doing, even as a joke. Is he? What part is a joke? That's a whole other story because lying isn't, you know what I mean? He has a GoFundMe. It's not a scam. Adriel getting $20,000-$30,000 to move is, right? Moving cities within the same, when you're near, I'm making $100,000 a month. He's like, right, it's expensive to move. I want to move here. He's been honest. Sorry, I was earlier saying the worst thing he's done, which is on this account, actually. I'm going to find it. About stabbing. But first, we're going to.
So if you care to find me.
Who's this under a Wilbur Thirst Trap edit? On February 12th of last year. Like, I can't. These people are like, I gotcha. You like Wilbur Soot. You mean why he's going viral? Because he said he wanted to date Wilbur Soot and you all had a fucking tantrum? LOL, I don't currently live there. Rachel may not like him, but damn, is he fine. On February 14th.
And look to the western sky, as someone told me lately.
That's him singing. Brighton called, okay. Which also, the fact, does this look like ghosting? August 18th, 2023. Hey, Tyler. No, I've never heard of them. I don't know what they do. And I don't know what they're I'm not going to read the part. It gets too much. Totally fair, LOL. Just figured I'd ask. It usually takes a while to figure out who's who. Anyway, I just looked them up. Looks like they make some interesting work. Looks great. Certainly seems exciting. A friend sent me a job listing of theirs. So I'm considering, LOL. But by considering, I do just mean asking questions. LPL. I am just good at typing. And then October 20th. Which, like, the misunderstanding about the job, and they're like, but nobody didn't have, right, no, if you live here, we can maybe find you a position. If you live here versus, yes, right, putting in the paperwork, he wanted to move there, went there on vacation, met him, was like, wow, I could possibly get a job here, made that into mean more in his head than it did to the person not offering a job, crowdfunded for it, but not lied, right? Like, yes, he lied in that he was like, I have a job offer, and he didn't have a job offer. Do you know what people do because they're being catfished? They don't have one, right? Someone lied somewhere in the ether. They didn't lie. It's like, right, no, he thought he did have a job offer, right? Different. Like, they just keep bringing it up. Like,
Actually, fuck Stuart Semple. And I'll have you know, I know.
Like, he is some people's Adriel, right? It was like, you don't understand. He has a past. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking, like, I'm just like, you just love him. I just met him parasocially. You know what I mean? Like, we've all just meeting him parasocially, unless you're really been in this for a while. You're his cousin, his, you know what I mean, twin from utero. Like, we have different levels depending on relationship. Is there something he hasn't done? Part 2 of Tyler Catastrophe LARPing as a football fan, which this person
soccer team when I see one, because I spent my
yes,
it is my life. I love them.
Or something means to something else. Fine, fair. We can't tell expertise in areas that we're not already an expertise in. He believes himself to be a football expert and a singer and quite frankly, pre-post car accident, which everyone uses against him, and I have yet to hear anything that makes me think any of that is exaggerated or fake, that some people have zero confidence when they're like nearly perfect human beings. You know what I mean? Like they just play a concert, whatever, Manchetto, blah, 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 and they're like, oh, wait, I'm new to this. I'm like, you know, I've been here for 20 years, just tinkering away. Other people are the opposite, right? Trump, very obviously, I'm the best at the Iran deals. Iran has to open the strait, or I'm just going to dick slap everyone and start a genocide, right? And everyone's like, yeah, he's the Messiah. Who cares if Tyler thinks he can sing better than he can? Who does that hurt? Truly. LOL, Cal, cringe. Is it? Is it cringe to put yourself out there and think you're better than the average person thinks you are? There are people who enjoy him singing. People who enjoy his necklaces are willing to pay that money, or it's his forever, right? He gifted them to the guy where he went on the temple, whatever guy, simpleton, I don't know.
And sure, England isn't great either.
This is the one, but also as a Canadian that lives right next to America, where we don't have we have guns, tons of guns in Canada, up until when Trudeau tried to take them all away. And I was like, where do I go get one now that he's trying to take them? We don't have a ridiculous number of knife stabbings that I know of, and Britain does. Seems to be a lot of angry, I'm going to go with men, who don't have access to guns, but do have access to sharp things, who, right, stab people. That sounds horrible. And, like my sister should have done research on fire ants before moving to Georgia. Probably do research, but like, you know what I mean? I have yet to research levels of stabbings before going on anywhere for vacation or the longer trips to like Germany and Costa Rica and Australia and stuff. I did not look up stabbings, but they are wrong on this, right? Like, this is the worst thing I have seen from a clip of them do. Not assume they had a job that, right, they didn't have. I get that I don't need more evidence. I don't need to copy and paste more stuff. I don't.
But I know in my heart it's where I'm supposed to be for this next chapter of my life. But at the very fucking least, if anyone in Europe wants to take me out, they're gonna have to work a whole lot fucking harder for it. What are they gonna do, stab me? I grew up in backwoods Oklahoma and I had a younger brother. So if someone with a British accent pulled a knife on me, I think I'd just laugh. There's no coming back from that one, buddy. You got the wrong one. I'll be fine. So yeah, I will not be fine.
So there's a lot of stabbings and signs and symbols that young guy was stabbed. It literally, they put the picture of the chapter's corner, but it was 2 blocks away where it actually happened, but happened on, I don't remember what date, and his birthday was my daughter. I feel like it happened on Allie's birthday. It happened on Allie's birthday and had my daughter's birthday. The stabbings outside of Carter's elementary school on the date alley, and I went away and that whole thing. 3 children in his elementary school died that year. I still don't know how his best friend or friend died. That was whatever. Not whatever, but 3 children. What's your point? Oh, stabbings. My cousin's kid, but like my second, whatever that level is when your cousin has kids, I'm still calling them my cousin because I once from whatever it is. Worried about her teenage son, sends him from Edmonton to Calgary to get away from friends. I don't know what he was into. Don't know. This was like over a decade ago at this point, way more, which is why. And anyway, got stabbed 13 to 17 times by a random person walking through a field who was high on drugs and wanted to hurt someone and stabbed him. I don't know, because I believe who became, I don't think they ever got married, but they have 2 children together and was his equivalent of wife for a while, even if they aren't together anymore. I think she was with him and they ended up staying together after, and she got him through his depression after having been stabbed, I believe it was 17 times, and surviving. The fact the people I ran away with during my Jubilee runaway with Leah and Tears Are Told on Me and running away, and 2 brothers, one of them was murdered much later than that night, clearly. And the other one, the murderer, also murdered somebody on my birthday. A different year. The amount that stabbings are involved, and there's a ton more, I'm sure that, I mean, when they come up on like true crime and stuff, but like the actual directly associated in time and space, but anyway, there's a lot of school stabbings, and I don't know how many there are in Canada. Like, I don't know how we compare. I know Britain's much larger than us in size. We're much larger geographically. And we live on one planet Earth, and we've divided her into nations and then done a lot of delusional assery, colonization.
And sure, England.
Right. So they had an experience of going viral, the dog poop, all of that. Processed that, and they took a time off. They came back on my timeline. I was like, let's go. No, they had posted too much content. Million misinformation. I want to find the one where they first. Nope. Tyler Catastrophe. I think this is Alani energy drink. Yes.
Let's say you see someone on this app who you think is delusional.
Literally, let's say it says Tyler Catastrophe, right? So even if they don't say his name in it, they definitely are saying it in this, right? They're a therapist, basically diagnosing someone as delusional, while also, right, like, we should be doing this better. Well, then this paired with the other ones that are about he's the problem. This person is more of a problem for trans and therapy, like the group of trans people and their people's collective opinion of them in the world, and people's collective opinion of therapists, than Therapy Jeff with, you know what I mean? And quite frankly, Lily Tino. Lily Tino is obvious clickbait, obvious rage bait. Yet to anyone outside, right? How do you distinguish Lily Tino from any trans woman who's not out there trying to slap her dick all over the place? You know what I mean?
Therapist, I just want to remind you that a delusion is by definition something that is a fixed belief, not amenable to change in light of conflicting evidence. So that means that anyone who you think is like delusional, that means that they do not believe the evidence that you are presenting in front of them. And that
Like the Rochelle in my right. I've given you so much. I didn't ask for it. You're proving a point. What? She thinks, and the world thinks I'm delusional, right? It's like, no, but what's the lie? Okay, like we'd have to have a whole discussion. It'd be a one-on-one video chat almost. What's the delusion? Where's Tyler's delusion? What is he not seeing that is not penetrable to facts? You're fat and ugly. We don't like you. No, he understands you all think that, and he doesn't give a fuck. And I love him for it. And so do many other people that you don't like your body, don't like you were born. I don't know, but like you have your own shit to work through, Lee, that you're putting on him. Is my right? I'm not trained in therapy, you know what I mean? That's my version of you with all of my projection on therapists and all the people I've met along the way and Tyler Catastrophe and
is what makes it a delusion. So if you're gonna say this person is delusional, just want to remind everyone who thinks that this person is experiencing a delusion, and again, I'm not diagnosing anyone, that if you think a person is experiencing a delusion on the internet, you telling them that there is evidence that says otherwise is literally pointless. It's pointless, and it actually just makes it worse. The treatment for a delusion is absolutely not, let me show you something that is different, right? Like, let me show you the evidence otherwise. Let me confront you. Let me ridicule you.
Ridicule you and confront you? No, of fucking course not, because that's not how we right? Humans don't react well to those things. Joining you in it and questioning it, getting you to question it is actually how you do. So a therapist or a psychiatrist or a friend or family who can actually develop a relationship so you can trust them in a reality metric, right? Are we seeing this? Do you see the dragon in the corner, right? If I can't trust you because you're going to lock me up, I can't trust you to ask you if you see the dragon. Yeah, it's a sculpture. Maybe don't put that in a psychiatric office.
You and like mock you and whatever, like this, sure, the behavior that is excusing abusive behavior, no, mental.
I can't, because again, this thing with Tyler Catastrophe where simultaneous, everyone's like, ew, no one would ever like you. Also, how dare you like this person? They're an abuser, and the need for people to both be like, love story, let's get them together, and like right, different people feel differently and have different motivations. That person gave $10 to make a joke, right? At his expense, but he still got $10. The amount of people, Kate Gifter is keeping Adriel, well, she misunderstands what a sport is and what paddling is. Gold.
Illness or whatever, like nothing can excuse that at all. But back to my point, if you're a person that is trying to like make videos in response and like say, hey, Tyler, like this is real, like this is.
I don't remember because I know we already watched this. Somebody getting interviewed, I was on some scripted TV show or movie and talking about it's off the record after they've just talked to a reporter or a cop. I think it was a cop they talked to, and it's like, you just admitted to murder. Like, it was something ridiculous, and like, but this was off the record. It's like, you can't just say off the record. No. And that's basically the equivalent of what Lee here is doing with the stuff on the screen. This is not, I'm not diagnosing. Yes, you are. This is not my clinical opinion. Lee, NB therapist. Right? You're on social media as all those things, all the thing everyone's saying about therapy. Jeff, well, no one's dealing with, right? What is it to be a professional under capitalism? Just doing my job, Nazism.
What's real and this is blah blah blah, and like maybe look at this. It's not going to be helpful. That is not helpful. It's just making this more of a lolcow, like, I don't know, viral moment that people are using to like make fun of him. I just think that like this engenders a lot of feelings from people because people get really touchy when it comes to parasocial relationships, because we all have a parasocial like bone in our body. We can't help it. We feel close to our favorite podcasters, our favorite musicians, our favorite artists. And then, you know, we have the reality and we come down and we have the insight, and we're not delusional. But when people are delusional,
We're not delusional. What the, right? What do you think insight is, right? It's figuring out where you were a moment ago delusional, right? You didn't get the information impenetrable to facts, and then something penetrated it. No longer is delusional. That we think we can tell when we are, when other people are, but not we, right? All wrong, says the therapist. Good thing we're not delusional. I'm not diagnosed. It's so fucking delusional. I'm not diagnosing him. This is my non-professional professional. Don't take this as my professional. Just my parasocial professional. Right, okay, cool.
that means they cannot change their mind. Like, that's what makes it a delusion. So if you're in good faith trying to help this person by showing him, you know, evidence otherwise, it is literally not helpful unless you are prescribing an antipsychotic to someone who you think is having.
Unless you're prescribing, right? Again, that's not, right? That doesn't help with a lot of delusions. It's not delusional disorders. I would never. All of psychiatry, fucking bunk. I need people to join me in reality. Someone will. Or we just, there was some
delusions, like, or doing CBT means they cannot change their mind. Like, that's what makes it a delusion.
Yeah.
So if you're in good faith trying to help this person.
Trying to help, you know, one in good faith is trying to help anyone on the internet, right? Like, otherwise they'd have to know where they are. Do you have a relationship, right? Even if you're like, I deeply care about this person, you putting your comment video is all about you and your nervous system and your need to look like you care about them instead of actually caring about them and or their children and being like, is this best for them, right? Like this whole, it's not good for them to be online, so I'm going to make a video saying you all shouldn't talk about them, and then 4 more videos saying how, right? What did you need him to, right? Because he put out a video that went viral about him saying he was basically obsessed with Wilbur Soot and wanted to date Wilbur Soot, and then put out another one that was like, my bad, forgot what the internet was. I used some hyperbolic language, and here's how I really feel, right? And everyone was like, no, you're more he was like, no, that was an obsessive video, right? Here's reality. That people can't distinguish, right? One video from another, going to someone's platform, it coming up on your FYP versus them choosing who put the camera where, whose platform are you on. The lack of social media literacy and the reliance on AI at the same time. But don't use it for therapy. Good thing teenagers aren't immune to.
And by showing him, you know, evidence otherwise, it is literally not helpful unless you are prescribing an antipsychotic to someone who you think is having delusions, like, or doing CBT that's like specific to that, but also like you need medication. Like, let's be honest, this needs to be that, like, that's the best treatment for delusions. And honestly,
and can it please worry you all, this is a therapist who sells their time as therapy, who's going to tell their patients, oh, if you have a delusion that I can't see, I can't distinguish if it's a delusion, because their medical degree is wrong, their therapy degree, right, makes them think they're an expert in this. Therefore, you should be on medication. Go to those white coats to go get that medication to fix you, because I can't, and I'm a hero, and I'm coming with my hero degree, and even I can't, so you must be on drugs. Instead of maybe there isn't a drug. Maybe we all have different VR glasses on. Maybe we need to deal with our delusional sense of you're not the main character in your story while everyone else is the villain and victim, and you get to be, you know, like, right, no, we are the main character in our own stories and the secondary in everybody else's. And it's all orchestrated outside of time to make it all work. In our greater higher good. In Jubilee's greater opinion.
it just makes people dig in deeper, especially if they are delusional. They're going to look for all of the evidence that affirms their delusion, because yours doesn't matter. If that's not real, all of my evidence is. So I'm just going to look deeper and deeper and deeper into that, because
right, everyone's doing that constantly. You have to actually create. I'm listening to the beginning of Daniel Schmachtenberger's War and Sense Making, which I brought up during a Friends Day conversation, and they did not hold it in the same esteem as I do, as far as they were like, I kind of vaguely remember. I'm like, this wasn't a corner store. And if you're re-listening to him contemplate truthfulness and sense making and basically going through, I can't trust any of this information, including peer-reviewed science. And we're listening to it now, 6 years on, with Daniel Schmachtenberger's mouth. It's like, yeah, no, it's not trustworthy. None of it is trustworthy because it all comes from the infallible human ego penises. Yes, it's not what Daniel says. Of course it's not. It is what I'm saying. Like, right, no, they've dixed all of it. All of it's for profit. All of it is for the male patriarchy, colonization. You can't actually see the truth unless we dismantle all of it, because everyone has to be delusional when their money and shelter is reliant on them being delusional as fuck. A pill should fix it. We just have to get Tyler off the internet and shove a pill down his throat. And then he won't be ugly. Because he's not ugly. He's not ugly at all. Y'all are just... When they call Lee, him, and his entire reaction is what we're here for.
Because I don't believe yours at all. That's what makes this a delusion. And I'm just going to like go down the laundry list of all the things that I know are true, right, in my delusion that's evidence for this. So it honestly makes it worse. And you know, maybe we just let this one ride and go. I think maybe we've said all we need to say. I don't know, but this is also the internet, so whatever. Just my 2 cents, I guess. Let's say you see someone on this app who you think, this is where the Tyler catastrophe conversation shifts into like blatant, explicit.
This is transphobia. Oh my God, calling me him, that's mean. Is you being transphobic, Lee? Like, I cannot express how much, right? This is me. Just because, yeah, and yes. Literally, you're the same visible, non-binary-ish female, you know what I mean? Like, yep. I could, and Dr. Shy, too. Ugh. The only thing is Tyler Catastrophe is not a therapist, right? Isn't expected to be. Just acclaimed artist. You're not supposed to do art right. You're supposed to get it wrong imperfectly. That is the art. Oh. So someone claiming he died, he lost all his friends and family from his near-death experience and him changing over it. And I commented on there, I don't have a near-death experience, but I am the Jubilee. Because there was a point, and if I can find it, I'll make it.
Exclusive transphobia. That's just what this is. This comment reminds me of the infamous question, why do all poly people look the same? Because it really isn't about appearance or like being the same person in a different font. It's about having something that is maybe more tangible to hold as a container for your disgust of who that person is. You are attacking their appearance, the way that they like behave in cringy, quirky ways that you deem as such, because you are projecting your disgust of them being poly, them being trans, them being blah, blah, blah.
They're projecting, yes. It's not necessarily disgust. They're saying you're, in their brain, you're in the same category as Tyler, and you're like, gross, don't put me in with them, which is your disgust, Lee.
As something that you actually can talk about, right? Because you can say someone is ugly or they look bad or why would they do that or they're overly confident or their art sucks, but that is genuinely just an expression and vehicle of your own like hatred and transphobia and bigotry. So it really is just like looking at trans people and saying, hey, you're not afforded like the humanity that other people are, and we're gonna see you as delusional, we're gonna see you as outrageous, cringy, embarrassing, disconnected. And if you show like that you're overly
my reality about Lee, the NB therapist, who I think was adorable, but thanks to Dr. Shy and not really the dog poop incident, but more their reaction to their reaction. Not their reaction in the moment, which I actually find very adorable of like, you know what I mean? Like the passing of the dog poop and then being like, no way, like the whole thing. And then finding out like everything very human except for like the lack of social media literacy and therapy that's in it. That's like the delusion part of it. It's not right. Not a fan. Not a fan. I find everything they're saying in a way they're trying to say they're not saying about Tyler Catastrophe, but the internet is, and therefore they are by. I think about Lee more so than about Tyler, who's like, right, is confident in their art and singing and self in a way I wish more people were, and we'd have less men curb stomping women for calling them pussies. From being like, hey, I'm this other group that people hate, i.e. trans, that's visibly trans, but you don't hate me visibly on the internet, and don't make it safe for children who are telling it safe, come out, be this, while claiming victimhood. Well, the whole thing, the adults have not grown up. Right. The adults aren't safe. It's not safe. And we were like, pretended there was ever a safe space, created an entire generation that needs safe spaces. And it ain't fucking safe. And I'm here for the kids. The trans kids. Not the grown-ass adults who, you know what I mean, are like, victim! Yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're not.
Be confident, if you're passionate, if you're maybe, I don't know, like socially.
All the ways someone can be a victim in society, like every single way, trans people experience more of. Black people experience more of, women experience more of. You know what I mean? I just said all of them. Just a little hyperbolic there. To say I'm this thing you all hate, right? Therefore, don't put me in prison because there's more people in prison. Don't kill me because more people are killed. Don't have me commit suicide. Therefore, do everything because I'm going to take myself off the planet unless blackmail, right? Isn't the same as right. What is it to be authentically you when authentically you is hated by everybody? Guess who's embodying that? Tyler Catastrophe. Guess who's embodying the polar opposite, swiveling, me. The lack of the diseased prostate, right? The lack of men, well on teeth, right? Yeah, this one.
Be a little bit awkward or not just right. You aren't afforded that kind of grace because you're trans. Another function of a comment like this is the infighting that it causes, right? Like we're trying to pit trans mask people or people who have like been on testosterone for X period of time, whatever, like against each other. What? Just because my voice has a similar tone because we've both been born AFAB and like are on a dose of testosterone doesn't mean that we.
Just because we have the same haircut, same voice tone, smell the same, look the same, and you're doing the wrong by putting us in the same category. This is the problem with this cis trans. The Jubilee specifically is both cis and trans, depending on what definition. Sorry, what did they just say? Because that was pretty gold.
Been born AFAB and like are.
Right. Anyway, like right. So when babies are born and doctors and parents assign them a gender, right? And then people who grow up and are like, wrong, you all got it wrong. We have to change all of pronouns. We can no longer know whether somebody's a this or a that just by looking, which you mostly could, but couldn't always before. And now there's people out there literally being like, right, that's the fucking point, right? Those are different trans people than the old school DSM-5. I'm the other gender. There's only two and I'm the other one versus fuck gender. I'm here for a gender revolution. Like very different. Both in society with people who are like, I'm living up my daddy's dream, right? Like, what do you mean I have to encounter a gender fuck and all of it at the same, you know what I mean? Like, they don't like our flag. No, it makes them violently angry. And you put children
on a dose of testosterone doesn't mean that we have the same cadence or the same sound, like really anything. You just are saying this because of the same reason why you say, why do all poly people look
Like if you took, is it? Which one was it? Is it twin? It's Lee, it is Lee, isn't it? I think it might be the one right before this. Oh, sorry, before the one with Amani. I can tell you that. No, the fuck you can't. Delusional human. You are not an identical twin because you're a trans man and you have a twin who's a man. Brothers, cis brothers, born of the same uterus, aren't identical. You know what I mean? It'll make you like fucking cat. The reality though, where you could have completely unrelated twins born from the same uterus, right? That is maybe my definition of twin. There could be a different definition of twin that you could argue for. What is my point?
It's lazy, it's gross.
You're right. You're putting us in a category that I'm telling you I'm in the category of non-binary. Now you're just saying all non-binary people are the same? Yeah, you're not like that non-binary people, unlike old school trans, haven't been there all throughout history. So yes, the fuck they have. They've been, you know what I mean? The butch lesbians and the I'm never getting married and the yep, we've always been the same. And it's been safe or unsafe to be who we are in various cultures. And gender is a human-made construct and sex is not.
And you're just trying to make us infight and feel shame around being, I don't know, compared to someone who you deem as embarrassing and societally, I don't know, like incorrect. So I guess everyone else gets afforded that, but you know, trans people and other marginalized identities.
No, nobody gets afforded that. Not even cis white straight men with money, right? Nobody's afforded that. Especially groups like you hate me. I guess you're not going to afford me all of the love and attention that I demand by being this thing that you hate. Right? It was never going to get you love and attention. Bad attention. Lily Tino, right? Like I fucking can't. Our delusional species 25 times more likely to kill yourself if you're stolen from your mother and given to a other family. We're going to ignore that and say that the 2 to 3 times more likely needs all this adult intervention and testosterone. That's what I was pausing to say before. I do wonder, I do think testosterone's an issue for our species, like that we're not dealing with it. We can't get rid of it. We shouldn't, that we put it in our bodies artificially. We in both male and female, like across, right? People who for whatever reason need it medically, mentally, whatever. We have people who naturally, biologically exist along the testosterone spectrum, and we have people who add it in known amounts. Therefore, we have people who have experienced their body before testosterone and after. I mean, we have like puberty and men who were boys and then they're men and they can tell us that experience. But the lived experience of trans men and trans women who are on cross hormones, experiencing puberty as the other and society, and then, you know what I mean? Everyone, important story to tell. That we have Klebold, it is Sue Klebold, I think she is one of the Columbine moms, because she wrote a book. And in it, her son is literally there. Well, she's bitching about him not remembering Mother's Day. Well, he's like, yeah, I'm a teenage boy. What do you like? He's like, sorry, Mom, did you write it on my dick? Like I can literally, and he's like expressing more emotional intelligence, and that she's typing out and putting in her book without realizing it's emotional intelligence said playing the victim. That he's about to go shoot up a school and make people actual victims. Where he's like, I can't control myself. I'm about to lose my shit. And she's like, but Mother's Day, where are my flowers? Like, I fucking can't. Our entire species, delusional as fuck constantly. And then we created therapy, like therapy. Pay someone to listen. Pretend to care.
And we're just not allowed to, I don't know, be confident and maybe even have like a mental illness outside of being trans, because we're apparently not allowed to have a mental illness and be trans.
Tyler Catastrophe art. I don't know what he was before, but artist, right? Lee, therapist. Tyler, confident. Lee, not confident. There's like nothing here is confident, right? That the little bit might be the transness genderness that Tyler also has. But that's what the person's seeing sameness, but not sameness. No, and that's what they're, you know what I mean? How dare you put me in the same category as what you hate that I'm in? You're the hating.
At the same time, because that means that you're just mentally ill and that's why you're trans. Like, come on. Ugh. This is where the Tyler catastrophe conversation. This is my attempt to address this comment in a different way.
If you're in a one-on-one conversation, it could be possible. I started this conversation before I'm muting. Fun. I'm gonna try to address this in another way. I read a lot into that singular comment in a 1-minute video, as we all do, because human. Now I'm gonna read more, but different into this other one where you've reiterated, right? But I can't be wrong. I'm the therapist and put a lot of thought into me. So anyway, I'm not gonna disagree, but at first I didn't think you were the same person. I'm not gonna disagree. But at first, I did think you were the same person after scrolling in the search. Literally, I put in his name and you came up and I thought you were the same person, right? Wasn't a, oh my God, you're like him. It was like, no, I literally thought you were the same person. Like, how'd you, I always get, there's like, if they're in a group, there was like anyone in my class growing up, there was always like 2 people I got confused unless they were literally in the same place. I was going to call them each other's name. Identical twins, 99% of the time I get it wrong. Like, clearly I can distinguish who they are because I get it wrong more than a coin flip.
I did before. I didn't communicate that well, not well enough at least, and it did not land well. So I hear your feedback and whether or not my intentions were.
Therapy speak for there. I hear your feedback. Do you? Because you can't, right? On the internet where you can't make everyone happy, right? I hear your, no, what you hear is all of the chatter in your mind about what you read into the comment, right? I hear you. Therapy Jeff taking a moment to be a sexual being online and giving someone counters on how he likes a man job. And everyone freaking the fuck out because he also had it, you know what I mean? Who do people, if men want to rape, what do? Was, I think, an authentic moment he had. Like I have, like men aren't supposed to be, right? He was like, well, as a man who isn't out there wanting to rape people, and as a therapist who should be the help they're going to, what, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, the internet responding to, that's the wrong thing to do as a therapist. It's all wrong under capitalism.
Whatever they were, the impact is what it is. So I'm gonna, not leave something harmful up. Say, hey, thank you for the feedback. Sat with it for a second, thought about it, and just want to, try again, but also be transparent that I am trying again, and that wasn't it. So thank you for letting me know and doing that work. When people categorize marginalized groups as looking all the same and using that kind of like dehumanizing language.
And this is facial blindness, not being able to distinguish people is like, our inability to know who the fuck we are as a species. No, like, right. I can't watch an all white cast who all have blonde hair, blue. Like, I'm like, I can't distinguish you. I also can't, even more so if it's an all black cast. I'm not choosing to not be able to distinguish the people. I want to be able to distinguish on screen so I can understand the fucking plot, right? No one's feelings are being hurt. I'm not, unless I come on and tell you I can't distinguish, right? No, I'm coming on and telling you I can't. If I could choose, I would choose to. Can't, right? And you're getting offended that someone can't, right? You look like, you remind me of someone, right? Like, people, I know another gay person. You're soulmates because I know both of you. Happens a lot, right? Again and again. Many different ways, I'm sure, right? Before, when interracial marriage wasn't okay or dating, it was like, I know another of you. You must be paired off. Very human.
And just flattening like the population entirely. This, it makes me think of in a way that I am not comparing, but just like adjacently thinking of the mechanism of oppression that often people who are of color, right, especially Black people, face all the time in the form of microaggressions and some even just like
Right. And if you're choosing to take on a persona as a non-binary persona that is visible and hated. Gay people in my cousin Brad Fraser's generation, right, having their families kick them out, not being able to not present as feminine, therefore having everyone assume you're gay, beat you up, bill you to the nth, like old school pride, old school pre the riots, can't remember what they're, Stonewall riots. This generation not knowing any of that, not knowing gayness coming into Hollywood, coming into the media, coming into people's perception. And being like, how dare you categorize us all together, even though we're all a together other in your mind. Don't ask questions to understand, and don't, you know what I mean? Like, new and different, and is new and different. Gay isn't, and yet we've ignored it and pushed it out of TV and literature. TV wasn't, but like literature in various time periods in history, whether it was allowed or not. What was socially acceptable when it came to sex? And our inability to deal with who we are as a species, as sexual species, and how babies are made and how they're not responsible for how they're made, but the rest of us sure as fuck are.
And just aggressions in which they are told that they just look like a counterpart that is a part of their racial group. Recognizing this difference, but not doing so in a way that like actually lets people who are different from you be different from each other in unique ways. It's just like, oh, you're different from me and you're all different from me.
Like autistics and allistics. Allistic means not autistic. So if you're not autistic, you're allistic, right? Like, it's a binary that designed that way, like Gentile and Jewish. If you've met one autistic person, you've met one, they're not the same in any way, shape, or form, and yet so similar, right? We can spot each other, how different we are from the allistics. The allistics fucking hate us, right? I wouldn't wish the people I know who are autistic, I wouldn't wish an ounce of their autism out of them. A world that works for them that isn't allistic, fake as fuckery. Yeah, no, that's what we're creating. That's what we're actually creating. A world that works for the weird and different. To be weird and different and just demand everyone accept you is to not know where the fuck you are. Well, lying to mine and all of our children. That it's safe to be weird, and no, the fuck it isn't, not in this ableist shithole. Or more people, you know what I mean, incels, and we forgot to raise non-rapists. We just raised people that were like Tyler Gannett, you know what I mean? You're just gonna walk up to me with a British accent and a knife, and I'm gonna laugh in your face. And you're gonna get stabbed.
The same way. And that's just like really reductive and discriminatory prejudice, like racist in a lot of circumstances, and just like hateful, you know, and dehumanizing. This is not okay, like in any form, and it's definitely going to, in different forms, right? Like this kind of mechanism of oppression, it is going to impact people to varying degrees, and it's always going to disproportionately impact people of color, especially Black people, more so than counterparts. I'm sure I share some resemblance with Tyler Catastrophe because I share resemblance with a bunch of other people in the world. Like, I'm not the only one that wears glasses. I'm not the only one that styles my hair this way or wears clothes this way. Like, the only thing that truly makes me unique are my tattoos, because I don't think anyone else has exactly all of the same tattoos that I do. So, you know, okay, I'm not also turning this into I don't look like him. I don't ever want to look like him. Like, we don't look alike objectively in terms of I have brown eyes and like dark eyes.
Objectively, we don't, right. And like, you're like, right, no, your quick view glance of us, right? Does a Chihuahua and a Great Dane look the same? You know what I mean? They're both dogs. Humans have chosen to breed into the breeds they are. Humans. Just we have the same haircut. Did you look at the color of our eyes? No, they didn't. They just looked at the general overall other gender, right? And we're like, I'm putting you in the other gender category. You're like, you're not going to do more work? Did you even ask my astrological sign and what my hopes and dreams are? No, because that's not what we do as a human species.
He has light eyes. I have darker hair. My hair is short. His is literally long. He has facial hair. I've literally never.
Is he bald? Like, shaved? Does he have it back in a ponytail like me? Because he doesn't have long hair, does he?
Never had facial hair. He wears like a low V. I've never worn a low V, or shown my skin, like my chest. I don't have the same piercings at all. He doesn't have nearly as many tattoos as I do, at least not that I can visibly see. Like, we look really different in a lot of ways, and we look maybe the same in.
Remember the other person's name? One of them's named Suri. Next to each other, they could not look more different. Like, they're both hairstylists who did hairstyling skits, and they both got very viral on TikTok, and people would got them confused from each other constantly, would book appointments with one thinking they were getting the other one, and they had to actually collab and be like, and you look at them next to each other, one of them super tall, darker hair, one of them's got red hair usually. Anyway, do not look the same. White women who were not a stick figure who did hair and told stories. I got them confused. I was like, the hairstylist I follow wasn't keeping them straight, because how would I? I'm me. That's never happening. One-on-one conversation, need to know you as a human being, right? For you to be an emergent human being with your own identity. Right? You're not. No, right? And that's my new brain currently, no village, no pronouns, right? Whatever's coming out, it's coming out. Like, right. No, I'm not doing labor for random internet strangers. The actual human teenagers in my life who care about pronouns. And that's who I'm putting that energy into. And am I going to get flack with absolutely? You're trans? No. You all did zero fucking gender work and put it on our children. While doing fuck all about adoption 25, 35 times. Folds increase on trans. And we changed everything for this fake as fuck statistic. Instead of actually helping the human species evolve. Growing the fuck up. Going through the gender fuck. It's hate speech if you don't use my pronoun. What's a pronoun? What's a pronoun? Don't ask questions. That's transphobe.
In some ways too. So you're just being the way you are. This is my attempt to address this. One of the most insidious forms of violence that people who have experienced sexual assault face on an ongoing basis after their assault is this is what it looks like to center. In the most non-conspiratorial way, I do want to say that the algorithm.
You all coming to groups or at the 60. I'm like, yeah, no, nth room got I'm like, right, no, people going to a website. I mean, I don't know what the website is. Men raping their wives, planning it, other people watching it, that ever being a thing, let alone being a consistent thing men can bond over. We need to know who we are as a species. The nth room taught me who we are as a species. This whole thing everyone's going through, putting it on Jeffrey. Therapy Jeff, and but the men center the women. How the fuck do you center 62 million of anyone, right? Or the 7? How many victims? What victims? Let's ID them so we can crowdfund and really get them popular for having been. We don't know who and what the fuck we are, right? I want attention, so everyone wants attention and money. Anyway, we're watching this one.
is obviously clearly rewarding content that paints trans people as mentally ill, socially inappropriate, and unattractive, like physically unattractive. Some of the most common themes when we're talking about anti-trans sentiments and just transphobia is that trans people are mentally ill, that trans people are
delusion, right? To be able to say, doctors, my parents, Blair White, right? Transphobic. She's trans. Right? In the DSM-5. If there's anything in the DSM-5, I'm a woman, I'm a female. What you all are telling me I'm the other one. Versus what the fuck is going on here? I'm not picking pink or blue. You all are crazy pants. And the crazy pants doctors are crazy pants. Cannot tell the difference between what's in someone's pants based on their haircut, right? Like, we're in that world. People can't distinguish your genitals by looking at you and knowing your pronouns. Therefore, our whole society breaks the fuck apart. That is the society we've created. Yeah. Do not deal with that. But no, Senator, me. No, we don't. Dog poop. Right? Yeah, fun.
are socially inappropriate and that trans people are and will always be unattractive. When trans people behave in ways that could be categorized as socially inappropriate or having a mental illness as opposed to like, cisgender counterparts, we are met with so much scrutiny and such a lack of grace.
You mean like black women? Right? You go through the exact same thing as white women with mental illness and childbirth, etc., but are treated horribly and statistically die, and you know what I mean? Again and a fucking again. Don't get to choose if they're black, you know what I mean? How they present to the world, whether someone sees black woman when they come in. The fact that they mention it or like, hey, I'm a black woman, in case you didn't clock that. And we statistically get really bad in medical from you white doctor people in general. So if you could just keep in mind, I am black and maybe treat me better, and they won't, right? Again, the category of you hate me and I'm loud and proud, part of the hated group, but don't hate me is delusional. And we've done it to an entire generation. Have pride, be loud and proud. Oh, back in the closet, uteruses aren't for the people who own them. They're for the men folk.
That our behavior is often just like immediately pathologized. And not only that, it is explicitly attached immediately to the fact that we're trans. Like apparently we cannot be mentally.
Right. Same with black, right? Like, it's like, I can't even just be a person. No, if only we'd listen to MLK. If only we'd listen to anyone.
Ill without it being explicitly rooted in the fact that we're trans at all, which is genuinely not true. Like, as a licensed mental health professional, I can tell you that being trans is not a mental illness, okay? When people talk about Tyler Catastrophe and Lily Tino, they become amplified by the algorithm so much that these people become the representation of trans people entirely. And that is not like accurate or fair or true. And it really also is like amplified because it's negative. To be clear, Tyler Catastrophe and Lily Tino have behaved in ways that are definitely harmful.
This is you. The Lily Tino, yep. Lily Tino literally goes out in order to get clocked and have someone misgender her in order to record it and put it online and be like, woe is me, where's my dick in the middle of Disneyland, eating a wiener, all the weirdness, right? Not Tyler Catastrophe. What you're projecting onto Tyler Catastrophe is the internet being like, ew, gross, someone I perceive of as different, right? You're also in the same category, and you're like, don't put us in the same category. Yeah, no, the internet is weird. Yeah, no, weird and different, other category. To be white, cis, able-bodied male, don't categorize me. I'm in the position of don't categorize. You're in that category.
and that is not to be excused at all. It's definitely to be recognized, but there is an extent to which I think trans people just get fucking dragged and then painted as like the representation for all of the trans community, especially when they can hit the trifecta of mentally ill, socially inappropriate, and unattractive, because that is just like how
Tyler Catastrophe is not unattractive. Like, the only thing that makes them is their social, like, I'm like, they just have confidence. It's their confidence with it's like the amalgamation, right? If they were Rachel McAdams, right? Not Rob Schneider. And I don't think, right? Rob Schneider's also not unattractive. If he was, he wouldn't be a Hollywood actor. But he's the kind that's cast as the unattractive, right? Who and what we find attractive and what we think we're entitled and owed. I'm a man now, therefore I'm entitled to the dick stuff, right? No. Depends on who you're in a relationship with, what doctor's in front of you, what their daddy issues are. All of it.
people dehumanize trans people, or at least one of the ways in which people dehumanize trans people. And I just want to make sure that if we're having a conversation, like, you know, holding people accountable and talking about the behaviors of people that are, you know, clearly harmful and unhelpful and unhealthy, and they also happen to be trans, that we're not, you know, conflating the fact that they're trans and what they're doing as like mutually exclusive and tied together, because they're not. Like, at least I'm not like clinically diagnosing, but what I am saying is like being trans is not a mental illness, and people who are trans are going to be human just like everybody else and act imperfectly and do weird fucked up shit all the time on the internet just like anyone else. But the algorithm is going to push when trans people are, you know, I guess doing the fucked up shit or just acting imperfectly, God forbid, as opposed to like trans people that are doing cool and good things, because that's what the algorithm wants to reinforce, is this transphobic bullshit that is reflective of the world around us, especially here in the United States. So I just want to let us be careful. I know that it is tempting to, you know, talk about this, especially because it is like giving people views, especially because views have been down a ton since, I don't know, the American TikTok took over, and people want engagement. They want views. And one way to get it right now is talking about the Tyler catastrophe stuff in the most As a therapist, I talk about confidence a lot, and one thing I say when it comes to confidence, and I apply this personally and professionally, and this is maybe just my point of view, but what I say is confidence is not me knowing that I'm going to do something perfectly. It's me knowing that I can handle when I don't. So if I'm giving a lecture or something and I'm standing up there,
Dr. Shai's in the comments, which might be why I attached them together, not just because they are actually. Yeah, I think so. Actually, I would think that was actually why I was like, oh, you know these people that I used to follow and like and now don't? Yeah, no, ick. Not a what are they a doctor of? I forget. But takes on expertise all the fucking time. That is a no. No, camped on Mount Stupid. If this was actually true, if doctors could actually say that's not my area of expertise, instead of how dare you bring Google into this appointment, right? Like the AI psychosis. And I think one of the older ones where it was Google and somebody bringing in anyway, just doctors and their ego. I went to medical school. You can't just do this. And if a search can do better than you can in diagnosing my brain tumors, what does that say about you as doctors and your 8 years plus in medical school? What were you doing? What? Not paying attention to the acoustic neuroma portion, clearly, or anything, right? Just how to shove medicine down people's throats so you can get on a yacht, right? So you can get to Mexico, wherever you're looking to get this year. Like the amount we've made it a for-profit dick society instead of for purpose, for joy, for happiness, for like truth. No, okay.
someone asks me a question and I'm like, you know what, I don't know, right? I don't know the answer, or I don't remember. I'm gonna just say, you know what, I don't know, or I don't remember. Does anyone else know? Can anyone else?
Nope. Like any human, you're going to act naturally in the moment, especially when you're not in your therapy. I put on my therapy hat and I'm the professional. Let me pretend I'm a professional, right? Because when someone asks you about your dog shit, right? And like, that's the wrong, you got into detective mode, not into your being, right? An influencer who, like, all of that. And then when it happened, you went into, how dare this be on here? Take it down now. You're hurting my feelings, bad mental health, not looking at his platform and realizing, yep, he's a confront people about their dog poop in public. And you're the best confront about dog poop. Therefore, clearly you're gonna, right, go viral and you're like, the internet's mean all the time. Yeah, that's what the internet does. Yeah.
Can you Google this for me? And I it doesn't make me lose confidence. I still feel like the expert. I don't know, like had a brain fart, or I just didn't know one thing out of the million other things that I do know. So really, confidence, in my opinion, is rooted more in my ability to like roll with it and not be perfect. And when that moment happens, I know I can handle it, as opposed to, you know, being absolutely perfect, or being, I don't know, talented, or other people being impressed by me or something. If I make a joke and no one laughs, I can handle that. If I think I recognize someone and clearly
No, you can't. Like, no, what do you, those are embarrassing things, right? And what they're saying is the human nature of like, right, how cringy is that when you make a joke and no one laughs, right? You can't tell you're online. You can't hear the laugh track or lack of, right? You can see the crickets, comments, you can take it down. You could or cannot take it down. I can handle it. You showcased how you handle it with the dog poop, right? In the moment, getting it wrong and then making them wrong for getting it wrong and then making them wrong for a court, all of it. All of it.
that is not the person that I thought it was, I can handle that. Like, whatever it may be, I can handle it. And that's why I'm confident. So it's not me being perfect and like always knowing what to do and doing the right thing. It's knowing that when I don't, I can handle it. The other thing is, and this is maybe like a deeper level, is whatever I do, so long as it's congruent with my values and I can, you know, quote unquote, sleep at night, I'm good. I'm good. That's all that matters to me. I just want to be in line with my values. That makes me feel confident, because that's what I got to live with. You know what I'm saying? So if I can say, you know what? Yeah, that I stand by that, and that's in line with my values. And
Oh, we went, at least on TikTok, from have a good day, or have the day you deserve, right? Which is both like, truly bless you. Bless you with whatever you're meant to have, right? Thinking about my mother talking about parenthood, and it was never, I can't wait. It was, I can't wait for you to be a parent so you can be in pain like I am, not so you can express the joy and wonder, right? And I can express that through you. No, or I can see it through you. It was like, parent, and we're doing it still to this jet. Like, parenting's horrible and we sacrifice. When are you going to do it? They're not. We did not advertise it well at all.
maybe it wasn't perfect, but I handled it anyway. I'm confident. And then that makes me even more confident. So hope that helps. As a therapist, I definitely wouldn't recommend asking anyone else this question, and I'm down to answer it because I think it's interesting and I might have an interesting answer.
How do you think you come off to the average person? I think that, like, I honestly, this is the only questions we should be asking each other. I'm done with small talk. I don't care. The rest of you can have small talk and talk about the weather and the fucking bullshit. I'm talking about deep, meaningful things, right? Like, I'm just more and more in whatever you all call my delusion, right? I need to plan myself for life and death reasons, and my child at the center of the event. The crickets in no village is like, right, life and death got us. So dealing with reality. More and more reality. Yeah, no. Like, you think I'm gonna unconvince myself? How would I possibly unconvince myself I'm the Jubilee? All of it, right? Like, as it was happening, and like, no, but I know how to save the world. What if you knew how to save the world? When would you can't stop? The world's not saved yet. Then the signs, and like, but Rachel McAdams, my sister's roommate, and like everything happening, and the amount of coincidences that showed up, the conversations about coincidences, and Now Messiah and Matrix and Mean Girls comes up. I'm like, right, no, it's to have a nuanced conversation about language with a language difficulty in medicine where they're insisting they're the expert and I have to be the memory, the holder of all the things while also not being listened to. I need a new everything, right? I need a new medical system for me to have any kind of healthcare that isn't delusional as fuck. I need a new healthcare system. I need a new form of doctor nurse while using the one we have because I also have brain tumors. There won't be a new one before you know what I mean? I'm going to need that to not be in the delusional fuckery of like, I can't, that guy, we never ended up watching, we won't now, is like, the Pope needs to stay out of politics. No, but Trump needs to stay out of religion, but you can't distinguish the difference between that and why it's different. The Pope talking about politics versus Trump talking about, no, okay. Men and women, women and men, races, classes, the babies we have, the babies we don't have. What can and can't be you don't even know what a twin is. You are one. You don't. I can answer Amani's question. Literally, we got it. Because no, you can't. You're a twin. You shared a uterus with your brother, and you don't share a face. You don't share DNA, right? Like you share brother sister DNA or brother sibling DNA, right? Brother sister DNA, really, because that is actually how genetically connected you are. Which would be different. Brothers are, because they both have the same Y. We know with 100%, if they're those brothers, if they're half brothers on the mother's side, they do not have the same Y. They're probably less related than the rest, ants and bees, and they're 3 to 1 ratio, or 2 to 3, whatever it is, ratio of females to males. What we define as female, we're the species that defines things. The humans. That we've made AI. Well, that's how you define and put in the description. The other one that we can define 2 things, and I'm going to end this. The one that I know where to find that one, A War on Sense Making, which I'm absolutely going to watch with someone who I find brilliant, Jordan Hall and Daniel Schmachtenberger. I find both of them brilliant and trust their sense making more so than your average person. And in watching the very beginning of this, I was like, rewatching. Oh, Daniel can't possibly, neither could Jordan. How could they possibly get to the conclusion? Like, it took me decades and all of the work and after the gender fuck and after the race stuff and after to get to what if men weren't supposed to be fathers? Do you think men can get to what if men weren't supposed to be fathers? What if we are supposed to not know the parentage of our offspring? Women are supposed to be sleeping around and because you guys only care about if they could be yours. So therefore, they should all could be yours. You know what I mean? Not this lie of monogamy and men. You know what I mean? Not the lie. Not anyway. This one in the description with the difference of like truth and when someone's lying versus when they're spreading misinformation. Like they believe something, and so that's why I'm rewatching it. But with the caveat of AI, and AI is made in human image. Without any understanding, like it's hallucination, it's lying. Well, it doesn't understand it's lying. It just loses a digit and is like, no, that's the number you gave me. Watch the guy that does AI, which again, we're not doing the repos. Different channel now, but we had. Okay, where's the other one I'm looking at? Orcas. Okay, I need to do this another way because one, I don't want to show my history on here, but I am going to go to my history. We have new history now that I'm watching it on. Now that they deleted my old one. They just deleted me like I don't exist. Oh, that one also, that was. So with reality where they have a coffee mug and it's all. I might play that one. Orca's another orca and solved a decades-long mystery is the one I'm going to put in. But we are first going to click on this one. And it's funny because rewatching the first time, I'm like, there's something weirdly uncanny about his arm while he's doing. No, just not sure. And then on second watch, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I gotcha. No, that's the one that. Sorry. Okay. All right. So the orca is playing in the other tab. Definitely watch this about the sociopathic or species of orcas, which again, if you're eating the same species, sociopath, it looks the same to it compared to everything else in the ocean. That some eat fish, some eat marine mammals, and some eat orcas. I don't think they exclusively eat orcas, or I think we would have known. Reality died the day the internet was born, and I'm going to put the orcas in the description if I haven't already, and ending this.
Tea. I bet you thought I was drinking tea, but this glass is empty. You see that? There was no tea in there. And this isn't my hand. These are my hands. That's not real at all. You see, you're being lied to. You're being lied to. I bet you thought this was me, but no, this is just a reflection. This was all taking place on a mirror. It was all a mirror. It was all a lie. And I bet you thought I was wearing pants. I'm not wearing pants. And this isn't even my voice. I dubbed this over in post-production. And you're being lied to. This is all taking place on a screen, and you are being lied to. You're being lied to.
One second go around, the coffee cup looks so fake. Yeah, anyway, okay, ending this here. Be back next time. There's at least 3. Sometimes multiple in the day, although honestly, probably not. I don't know, I've been on for 3 hours, but in the description. In the description, usually when I get off for the next hour, it's like, oh, this came up right away. Like this one was May 21st. I don't remember what else just came up right before this. YouTube, someone commented on my YouTube channel. I followed it back and it was May 21st. And I was like, well, that's not a date. And then this one came up right after. It was like, that's not enough to go live, right? Like that's a time. That's not even the time being 11:22. It wouldn't be that. It would be 11:11 or 11:22. Okay. Words, they fail. See you next time.